welcome to episode 82 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. And we have a special guest today, Tom Fellrath. And speaking of that, Tom is going to have a special announcement kind of at the end of his interview that you definitely want to stay tuned for. This is a major announcement, and I know you don't want to miss it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So how are you doing, Tom?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
welcome back.
It was episode 17 that you were in. That's 2 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's more like
and you're on what,
82
now?
82.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
way earlier than
82.
So it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I know, things have changed quite a bit in the 2 years for you. You've been quite busy.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit,
The
yeah.
thing is, we were at that time we were congratulating you on coming back. You've been out of small press for like 30 years, and all of a sudden, we knew each other back in the 80s. You were most, I think, prominently active in like 87 and 88, and all of a sudden you popped back up, and it was great. It was great because you didn't just come back into small press, you came back with a vengeance. And you've been doing a lot of great stuff over the last 3 years or so. And so, we want to talk to you about that. You just kind of outdid us all.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'd have to do a heck of a lot to cover your tracks.
Well, maybe people don't know, but Tom has a YouTube show, so I'd like you to talk a little bit about that. Fanzine Live is Tom's YouTube show.
Sure.
And tell us, some people may not know about it, so this is a good chance to kind of advertise it a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead and talk a little bit about what you do there and what it's all about.
Okay. All right, thanks. Yeah, Fanzine Live is something that came out of, well, I used to be a devoted watcher of the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And with the unfortunate passing of Ed Pisker, and then Jim Rugg deciding not to continue it without him, that there was kind of a loss, not just of Pisker, who, the guy was a tremendous talent, and he is being missed.
Great cartoonist.
But yeah, very much.
Yeah.
But there also was a loss of the content and the community around that, of the dialogue, the discussion of let's talk about comics and about cartooning and about the work that we do. And of course, I just thought to myself, you know what? I bet I could help try to fill a little of that gap. I didn't go to Joe Kubert's school. I don't know how to cartoon my way out of a paper bag, but I can talk about comics. And more interestingly, I thought my perspective is really more of a older school because, like you were saying, Steve, 30 years out. And then you come back in. And so my whole perspective is about small press comics making from about 30 odd years ago. And so I thought that might be interesting. And if you look right behind me, you see all those brown boxes?
Yeah.
Well, that's my library of small press comics. And so, well, I actually have some under my desk too now. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to do videos about the stuff that I had from way back when? And then also, of course, you got your newer stuff. And, I'm shameless. I've got my own zine, so I thought I'd try to promote a few of those. And so I kind of create a rotation, a weekly rotation I do a new zine, I do an old zine, I do one of my zines. And then it's kind of blown up and become a little more than that. But yeah, and I mean, you guys are so good at talking about comics, and you've got such depth of perspective that I can't dream of having. So I thought, you know, well, what I'll do is I'll just do
We've
like
been
a short.
around a long time. We're old guys. We've been around a long time in the small press.
Hey, I've got some gray as well, gentlemen.
Yeah, a little bit of gray. I dye mine, so you can't see it, you know, so much. I dyed the mustache.
Well, my wife wants me to.
Mine is actually blonde, and they look white. Actually,
Larned looks great. Larned looks great. He doesn't have to dye. He just looks so darn young, and I'm totally envious of him.
But yeah, so that's basically kind of how it's gone. And my thought was I would try to keep them sort of short-ish. Mm-hmm. I try to keep the videos to about, if I'm on track, I go for under 10 minutes, you know, so it's enough time for somebody to tune in, watch a little bit, get enough of the information, and move on with their day. And then, of course, with the new releases and with my stuff, and now I also am doing crowdfunded books and some stuff I call world zines from around the world. I try to put ordering information in. Yeah. And so, because I really think that's important.
Oh,
that
it is. Yeah.
Connecting people.
Everybody
with the
wants
zines.
to know where to get the comic that you just reviewed. Where do you get that? You know.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
Yeah. Well, and it used to be Small Press Comics Explosion.
Yeah.
And hello, everyone. It's Tom. It's Fanzine Live, and this is the Classic Zines video. Last time, I did a look at the Small Press Comics Explosion. Excuse me. I did a look at Hype Comics by Bob Wayne Kozlowski, and he mentioned how he discovered Small Press Comics Explosion. Well, guess what? I have copies of Small Press Comics Explosion going back quite a bit, and I believe that this may have been my first, no, this was my second issue of Small Press Comics Explosion, and I thought I would share it with you. SPCE, as we call it, Small Press Comics Explosion, this was the magazine that started a whole revolution of people like Bob Wayne Kozlowski, like me, if you will, in the world of small press comics.
Don't have that anymore.
And in fact, did I post? I'm looking at my video list.
You did one on that.
Well, I did one on SPCE. The one on Bubbles. Did that come out? Yeah, it did.
I've seen
it. Just came out. And in that, I kind of was suggesting that between that and like the Comics Blogger, I think is another one, that there are like these pretty good but very regional publications. And so it used to be with SPCE going out through comic shops all across the country that, you know, you get one of those newspapers and you're set for the month.
Yeah.
I mean, you got so much stuff that you could look at. Yeah, and so now you kind of have to go here, you have to go there, and I was thinking, well, maybe in this video age that we live in, I mean, I'm never going to be a Corrigan. Heck, I'm never going to be a Larned or a Steve, but I might be able to contribute a little and be a place that people can, you know, get a little information, learn about a zine, perhaps have it tickle their fancy, and they go off and order it. That'd be neat.
Well, I tell you, I look at it anytime you post. So to me, it's great. So the question I have, though, were you going to say something, Steve? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Larned. You're first. You're the oldest, so I respect you.
I think. No, I was going to say, Steve and I rely on people to send us their comics because he's in Florida and I'm in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Now, so we're kind of dependent on that. But where do you get yours? You look like you're buying them, and is that what you're doing? I don't think anybody's sending you, are they?
Yeah, some of them are.
Some of them are? Okay.
Some of them are. I mean, well, first off, there's the United Fanzine Organization. And,
Right.
you know, all the UFO members, I'm in the co-op, and so I send them my stuff. They send me their stuff. So right there's a fair bit of material.
Right.
But I have had a few people send me things. Here, great example. There was a gentleman, there is a gentleman in Arizona named Jim Cheff. And I've reviewed these this week, and so it'll probably show up in a week or two. And he does these children's zines. I mean, like little kids, like, you know, bedtime reading type things.
Yeah.
Just a remarkably brilliant concept. Make these little fairy tale type zines done on like almost a cardboard type stock, like a heavy card stock. So the kids can't, you know, they can't crush them, and the like, but they can get more than one reading out of them. Pretty colors, simple artwork, and they're cute, and I love them. Jim found me and he said, "Hey, can I send you something?" And I said, "Absolutely." So that's his second batch that he sent me. So I have a few people like that, but most of them, I have a problem, and I purchased too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Tom, and I buy too many zines.
Yeah, but you know what you do? What we do is, you know, if we wait until a number of people send us their zines, and then we do a show, and you know, and we review their zines. We promote their zines. We don't actually review. You know, I mean, we kind of review, but we put the best, you know, best impetus on, you know, whatever we get. You know, we try to promote and encourage people to make small press comics. But what you do, and on Fanzine Live, and it's kind of fascinating. It's kind of fascinating. And I can't believe the output over the last couple of years since you started that channel. You're putting out a lot of videos, and every week, like two or three times a week, you're going over these zines in detail. You know, you go page by page.
Yeah,
and,
he does.
Yeah,
but I only do one.
A lot of detail.
You do one main one, yeah.
One per episode. And how many
more or less,
episodes?
yeah. Yeah, and I think, you see, now we're getting into the stuff we were talking about before you jumped on, Steve. Larned and I were talking about this, how I can't and don't want to try to replace like the work that you guys do. You guys have so much that you can discuss about the work and the like. Me, I don't have the background. All I have is the paper. Yeah. And so I'll talk about what's on the paper. Yeah. You know, somebody has asked me before, like, you know, hey, can I do an interview on your show? And I'm like, no, I don't know what to ask you. So I mean, you want to go get an interview? Talk to Larned and Steve. They're good at that. They do that stuff. No, the closest. Now this is interesting. The closest I've come though to doing an interview, I've got a handful of videos up there called First Person, and that's kind of cool. Where I'm able to get the creator of a zine to using the same format, that kind of top-down video camera, open up the zine over the table and look at it. And I have them talk about their zine. And so that's the closest I'll come to an interview. But I do not introduce them. I do not talk to them. I say, 10 minutes, all yours, talk about your zine. Go through it and share what you want. I did this. I've done this. Do you guys know Michael Nino?
Oh yeah.
I know about
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I know him very
Yeah.
well.
He has a monthly get-together here in Columbus, Ohio, at one of the restaurants, and all the cartoonists get together and have fun. I dragged one of them aside, and he did a video with me in the restaurant. And then when I went out to SPX in Washington, D.C., I lined up a couple people in advance and said, hey, you know, if you're going to be exhibiting and you got 5 minutes of free time, you know, come step out into the coffee lounge, or I guess in this case we were out on the patio, and you know, talk about your zine. And so these guys, well, one was a lady, one was a gentleman. They did it. At CXC, there was another guy who's associated with the Koosh series out of Latvia, but he's out of, I think, Houston. And he was up for the show, and I said, you want to talk about something? Yeah. So he did it as well. So we did a study room at the Columbus Public Library. But this little rig I've got with, like, you know, it's got a little boom camera thing and a little wireless mic, and my background that you see is just, well, here, I'll show you. It's, okay. I mean, it's a round mat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I've always wondered what that was.
Yeah, so I just lay that out. I mean,
did you have that made or what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a custom-made Pokemon playing mat size. And I just had my image put over the top, and it works great.
Strange times.
Yes, we live in them.
Yes, and so do you.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Strange
that
times.
is one heck of a publication.
And this
that's
particular
awesome.
issue is one of the finest things I've ever seen in my life in a small press. We reviewed this I think it was in our last episode, but the Keith Newsom issue. And how did you become acquainted with Keith? Because Keith is an unbelievable talent, and this is a great zine. I mean, obviously a lot of work went into this. What can I tell you? It's just a great. It details his entire creative life. He's a musician. He's a painter.
Artist.
He is an artist, a comic book artist, and he's so talented. How did you become associated with Keith? Now we met him at Space a couple of years ago. Larned and I did. But man, this guy, his talents. He's a poet.
He's amazing.
He does a lot of some strange stuff, and
yeah. Look at that.
Well, I mean,
this guy.
The thing. Wow. Okay, I met him. There we go. I met him also at Space in 22, maybe. And he said that I was the only person at the entire show to say hello and try to engage him in what we were doing. It was my first and only Space show. I'm frustrated I can't get back. My schedules are just... but it was my first and only show. Bob Corby, I didn't know the way it all works, and so I registered late. So Bob put me out on the back 40. I mean, if you look at my pictures from that particular show, you'll see all these tables that are empty behind me because he had them set up in case he had last-minute additions. But, you know, we were out on the fringe.
Oh, yeah.
And I was with my daughter, and I'm trying to put on a good face for her. And I said, the way we're going to do this, we're going to work it. We're going to sell like crazy. And she, of course, you know, first time ever cartoonist, and she sells out in the first day. and you know, and she's letting me hear it for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I sold out, Dad. How did you do?
Oh my God.
I remember you posting that on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere, but I remember you posting that.
Yeah. She still won't let me live it down.
Hmm.
So anyway, so Keith is going around checking out the show. And I'm talking to him about it, and, you know, he's like, this looks really interesting. So he buys a couple of my zines. And then within like 24 hours, he sends me some pinups. Here. He sent me this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which I used as the back of Heroes Now #2.
Okay.
And I'm like, who are you? and so, oh my gosh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. And so out of that, we started having a dialogue, a conversation, you know, a friendship form. Now, he's on the south side of town. I'm on the north side of town. But we then had an issue of Strange Times come up. And, of course, keeping in mind, you know, he's a good artist. So is this guy.
Oh,
This is Larned. This is Larned piece. This is not Larned, but this is Larned's work. Actually, wait a minute. Give me that squint. That might be you.
That looks like Larned to me.
Yeah.
Looks like Larned like 30 years from now, not right now.
Well, that's when I was out on the street for a while.
There you go. There you go. You just got to get that squint down.
Yeah.
So anyway,
great art.
So yeah, so Keith says, you know, if you ever want to, you know, have me work on a comic, let me know. And so this came up, and I said, you know, we're doing this thing. It's called Strange Times. We're going to try to do a theme to it. And I said, you know, we're talking about who you are, you know, the person behind the pen and that type of stuff, and trying to get rid of the stereotypes and the like. And he sends me this whole section about his son and the artwork he's drawing on his iPad while he is sitting in the waiting room waiting for his son, who's dealing with just a tremendous brain tumor. I mean, just
that was very sad. Very sad.
It's I mean,
really,
it's traumatic, but the way in which he and his son have handled it is so incredibly inspiring. And so I wanted to share that story. Yeah. And so, of course, he jumps in. And he did a great job. And then in the
guy, he can share like his emotions. I mean, like whatever's going on in his life, he presents it on the printed page, and you can just feel it. You can feel the emotion, the sadness, or whatever. He just does a fantastic job. He knows how to convey emotion.
But it's not just the sadness; it's the resilience. That's the thing that gets me about Keith. He does not wilt. He does not shrink. And, I mean, then we go to the next big issue. I mean, we had the Matt Levin issue in between, but then in this issue, The Road Back, Strange Times 4, he did another section talking about how he has overcome personal tragedy and the like. And, I mean, it goes even further. And I mean, the stuff he has endured and worked through is amazing. So, okay, so now I've got stuff in Heroes Now. I've got 2 issues of Strange Times, and it's like, dude, you've got a story and a half. I want to tell it.
Yeah.
And so that's then how Strange Times 6 came around.
Yeah, that was great.
And it's one of the finest.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm just saying it's a fine zine. It's something I treasure this zine. It's one of the best things I've seen in a long time. Yeah. It's quite emotional. It's beautiful. It's beautifully printed. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully drawn, and just a great zine. So that's from Tom.
Well, actually, that's largely Keith. All I did was lay it out.
Yeah, well.
I laid it out. I published it. In minor
Yeah.
edits.
Hmm.
He wrote everything except for the introduction that I did.
Are you
It's all
working on a
Keith.
new
Yeah.
Strange Times? That's what I was wondering. Are you working on a new one?
I should. I've got an idea for what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not actively working on it right now. I guess if I'm going in the cycle of do a profile, do an anthology, do a profile, do an anthology, I should be doing another anthology. And I've got an idea actually for an anthology, but I haven't gotten around to launching it. So maybe. And then the other one I want to do, I've seen some really neat stuff come across my desk of individuals doing their own thing. And I kind of sort of like doing like a first-person comic strip anthology of their own. Like Larned, if you or Steve, if you guys each just, did little cartoons about yourself and things about your life and, maybe a 4-pager on this topic and a 2-pager on that.
There is an awful lot of that out there.
There is. And
the girl cartoonists or the women cartoonists do that. I've noticed that they do that quite a bit. They tell their own story, everyday life, whether it's mundane or it's not or whatever. They just There's actually one out that I'm reading. I think I left it upstairs. It's actually a collection of strips. It's a book called Long Boxes, and it's about a guy he is a cartoonist and he's writing about himself. And it's his reflections and vignettes and stories about the work of being a comics reseller on eBay and how he goes to flea markets and comic shops and the like, and the people he runs into, and how he grades them. And it's all done kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of funny. But then he starts getting into some really deep stuff about, like, wait a minute, am I only doing this to pay my fees to eBay? And, he's got all of this stuff that he's got pent up and he wants to share. And in a weird way, I'd like to try to do one of those. I'm not about reselling comics. Clearly, you see, I have a problem with reselling. I have no problem with acquiring. But I'd love to try to do that, and I put about 5 or 10 pages together. It's just, if I did it, I would want it to be a lot meatier than just a 10-pager. So I don't know, and then we might do another anthology. Yeah.
But there's this thing. It's called Fanzine Live. It takes so much time. It's an excuse to open up the boxes, pull out an old zine, read it, appreciate it, and then share that appreciation. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah. Just works great. Yep.
And I won't lie, I'm not going to share every single one because there are some. I mean, we could do like a really nasty top 10 list of zines that never should have seen the light of day. But
the only
ones that I do
with that was Tim Corrigan. If you remember, he would tell it like it was about comics. He never held back. If it was a
he was gentle. He was gentle on the ones that weren't great. He would always say, he'd find a nugget and say, "There's room for improvement off of this."
Yeah. Now, how about we haven't talked about Hologram and Heroes Now and
Okay.
a number of other things you're doing.
Yeah. Hologram.
Yeah, hologram. Tell us a little bit
Hologram
about
has a
Probably got
12-issue arc, story arc.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
we
of
got
course,
those.
There you
yeah, I mean, those are mini comics.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have the 10th issue. The 10th
Yes,
issue
I
just
do.
came out. And
Don't I have
I'm-
it? You had one where you reprinted all the earlier issues. Is that the one?
no. Here. Well, okay, this is a test issue. First off, Hologram had one artist, William Cadell, who was great. He did like the first half of the arc, so he did like the first 6, 7 issues. Then I drew a few, and I was kind of messing around with Mid-Journey AI for background, and then I would like insert the characters in with my stuff, and then I'd digitally insert, like that. Like
This is your arm.
Yeah. So that's my art over a Mid-Journey AI fake photo. It was fun, but I had two things happen at the same time. First, believe it or not, this thing actually is going to come to a climax, and it's going to have less reliance on backgrounds and more reliance on good character drawing.
Can you tell the viewers an overview of what the story is about?
Got it.
A lot of people would not know what we're talking about.
Got it. The story is of a guy named Joe Peters, I believe his name is. He was a scientist, and of course, like any good superhero origin story, there was a lab accident. He got hit with this beam, and he was turned into... He was made transparent, like a hologram. So he can go through walls, he can fly, he can do all sorts of stuff. And he also shoots lasers as well. But, you can see he's there flying over the Great Pyramid of Giza right there. Or that one, the other one there is popping out of the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. And I said that the locals probably didn't take kindly to that one.
I guess not.
Yeah, But that actually brings up part of the thing. It's a character study. It's a character study of a guy who's been given crazy amounts of powers and is still a normal person trying to be a normal person. And he's got a stupid sense of humor. And he's got a wife who's having a hard time dealing with all of this. And he is finding himself getting further and further into more fantastic situations. I mean, he goes out past Mars and blows up an asteroid to save the world. And then what does he do when he comes home? He goes on the news. Look at me. I saved the world. Because he doesn't know what else to do. He's a bit of a putz.
How many issues have you done so far?
We are up to 10. And the first story wraps up at 12. And so for these last few issues, I was getting less and less comfortable drawing. But, of course, wouldn't you know, Tony Lorenz sends me a note and says, "Tom, I'm bored. Do you have anything for me?"
Oh, man. How could
and
he
I
be
said,
bored? A million things.
and I'm like, "Tony, all I got is this mini comic. Do you want to do that? I mean, it's just single pages." And he goes, "Yeah. Give it to me." Yeah. And so now he's going to do the last three issues. So cool. This is a mock-up that I ended up not using for issue 10.
Okay.
And if you notice, there's a bit of a glare on it. That is because it is a plastic sheet.
Oh, cool.
And so Tony, this is actually done from his heavy pencils. We were messing around with formats and that type of stuff, but Tony's doing it now, and he's knocking it out of the park. He's so good.
He's good.
So he's going to bring it home for me to at least issue 12, and then we'll see what happens.
Cover price on that?
It's always 50. Well, no, it's not always 50 cents, but it is 50 cents on that one.
Okay.
And a stamp, which is more than 50 cents.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Very cool. And Heroes Now is another one.
Heroes Now is another one. Heroes Now has been kind of on hiatus for a while.
Is it?
That is, Hologram was one of my original superheroes back when I was a teenager. I created that actually. Yep. I created Hologram for Tim Corrigan's Kablam #1.
Oh. Okay.
And Scott McClung drew it, I think. Yeah. He drew that one. And it was great. But anyway, I had other heroes that I did stuff with, especially with Matt Kanarakis out in Massachusetts. We had The Light, and I worked with Donald Tenney on Patriot. And Dale Martin was the inker on that.
Oh, really?
Accelerator was Scott McClung. I'm sorry?
Dale Martin was the inker. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. I'll give you some.
We just had Dale Martin on for an interview.
Yeah,
Dale Martin did these inks.
Okay, that's the Patriot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did these inks. And we intentionally wanted it to be kind of a dark thing.
Yeah.
You know, because it's kind of a anti-hero type of story. And so we wanted to do that. So Dale did that. But anyway, so I had all these heroes, and I did the Heroes Past, which collected all of the stories from the 80s, including some unpublished stuff.
We have that one. Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
I got that one right here. Very nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. And that's Anthony Gray on the back. He drew The Light. Yeah. That was so much fun to put together. It's amazing it happened because I had no idea how to use the software to make it look that nice. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's been a learning process. But anyway, so what's happened is I took all those old stories, and then with Heroes Now, I have started to use those characters and tell more modern stories of what's happening with them. There is an issue that is what would that be, 5? Yeah, issue 5 is 90% done. I am waiting on finished art for 1 story, and then I probably have to tighten up a couple things text-wise from me. It could happen at any time.
Okay.
One thing I think you guys probably...
Okay. We will be looking for it.
One thing you can appreciate is when you're in a hobby like this... Oh, I was going to say, when you're in a hobby like this, you don't want to push people. You know, they're doing it because they love it, and I want them to continue loving it, and I want them to continue, feeling good about doing stuff with me. And so, I mean, if it takes longer, that's fine. I got other stuff to do. I got these videos to make.
Small press. You don't have an editor pushing you. You don't have anybody to answer to except yourself. That's why we love small press.
Right.
Yeah, unless you do these anthologies, and then you got somebody trying to, herd all the cats, and that's
Do it because you want to, because you have to.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of promised the folks a special announcement.
Oh yeah, we got a special announcement coming.
We want to make sure we get that in here. So
okay.
I'm going to let you go ahead, Tom, and you explain well, this is exciting. Just tell people about it. Go ahead.
All right. So what's happened, folks, is I became friends, reacquainted, I guess you would say. We were always kind of like in a 6 or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon type of way friends with each other, but we never really quite directly worked together with each other. With Steve Willis, friend of your show, friend of you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love Steve Willis.
And Steve and I have been corresponding, and he is an old school correspondent. The only other person I've had that relationship with since getting back into comics, well, no, two others. Chuck Haspel, he's offline. You won't find him, but he does write to me. And the late Larry Blake. Larry Blake sent me. He would send me some impressive mail. But
Yeah.
By the way, I'm in touch with Chuck Haspel. I'm in touch. He's going to be doing something for the new mantra that I have planned.
Ooh, really?
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah, Chuck Haspel.
That's great.
Chuck is back.
Oh, baby, that's great, Steve. That's wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Okay, so Steve Willis and I have been corresponding, and once he kind of said, you know, I think I sent him something for trade, and he said, I really like it. I go, oh, well, if you like it, I sent him a whole box of everything I've done since getting back into the scene, and he writes back and sends me a copy of every issue of Cranium Frenzy that's in print.
Oh my God.
And so I've got this stack of Cranium Frenzies that are like this thick.
Wow.
And I read it in a batch. And it was,
You read the entire 40 issues?
it wasn't 40, it was like 25 that he had in print.
Oh, okay.
But
you read
still,
them all, 25 issues.
all in one sitting.
Oh.
And
Wow.
and my brain is exploding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It
this
was.
guy
Yeah.
this guy goes places you can't even imagine
No.
with his work. And he does it, and he makes you smile while doing it, and he's just incredible. So I send him a thing, and I say,
Absolutely.
Steve, this stuff is great. I said, you've got to be, you know, he said, well, I started it back in, like, what, 88 or something like that. I started Cranium Frenzy back in 88, I think he said. And I've done it off and on since then, and I'm up to about issue 40 now. And
It looks like 1981.
81.
thank you.
Yeah.
81.
And so
Your
he
own work.
says, you know, he doesn't think about his work, or if he does, he won't admit to it, in like the long view. He thinks about the next comic.
Mm-hmm.
And once that comic's done, he thinks about the next comic.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that larger sense,
Overview, huh?
or at least he hasn't shared it with me.
Yeah.
And so I said, Steve, you got to collect these things. You gotta do something with this. You got 40 issues? Go to Seattle. Talk to Fantagraphics. See if they'll print it. And he's like, oh, Fantagraphics? He says, they've already printed my stuff in these books.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, he's got New Wave, Underground Comics, Mini Comics of the 80s, Treasury of Mini Comics, Volumes 1 and 2. He's in these things, but they're just little pieces.
Oh.
They're little anthologies. I mean, well, they're big anthologies, but they're little segments on him. And so, I said, Steve, you really need to talk to someone. I'm like, there's a hardcover reprint of Dishman by John McLeod back in the 80s. Fantastic series.
I love that series.
The Mundane Adventures of Dishman. Gorgeous hardcover.
Wow.
All 12 issues.
Hardcover, though.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
we got to talk to this publisher. I can help you get in there. I'll do what it takes. And he's like, oh, I don't know. And he says, well, somebody once did a collection of some of my stuff. Michael Dowers, maybe? He said, he did some stuff. He did some of my books. Okay. And I said, cool. Can you go back to him? I don't know. So I said, look, Steve, you got to get somebody to collect Cranium Frenzy. And he's like, I'm like, okay, if you're not going to go find somebody, give it to me and I'll do it. And he's like, okay.
Oh,
and
boy.
so, that's the first 11 issues.
Wow.
I got masters. He has sent me the masters for all of his Cranium Frenzies.
Oh,
and
my
so, and so, sometime this year, I'll make that commitment. I can't go any further than when it's going to happen. We're going to release collected editions, and it's probably going to be multiple because there are 40 issues of it. Yeah. We're going to do collected editions of Cranium Frenzy. Okay, so what you've got there, guys, what you've got there, guys, is a reprint, a scanned reprint of Cranium Frenzy #1. And there were a couple things we wanted to figure out. First off, I think he said 6 out of the first 7 issues were done in half legal size.
Okay.
Rather than half letter.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
If my technology, because I'm just using off-the-shelf stuff,
Yeah.
whether or not my technology would be good enough to blow stuff up from his only masters that he gave me are half letter, and we wanted to see if it could blow up to half legal and look okay.
I looked over this because I know you said you're either going to do it half legal or digest size.
Yep.
And I think the half legal is working. Even with, I think that is the way to go because he puts, especially this early issue, there's a lot of detail in here.
Yeah.
But I think if you make it too small, it would be harder to read. There's
Yeah.
a couple things in here where I see an edge or something that didn't take, but nothing major.
Well, my real issue was whether or not the scans, because you're blowing something up, you're enlarging it, whether it would be too pixelated.
It's not.
And I put my scanner on as high a resolution as possible, and I think it worked.
I think it did too.
Steve likes it. We're doing half legal.
What do you think about the half legal a little better?
Yeah, Steve liked that. That's what we're going to do.
Oh.
But yeah, we're going to do every single issue. So this first one is called a proof of concept, just because we didn't know whether or not it was going to work. He sent me all 40 masters, not knowing if it was going to work. The guy's great. And so what we are going to do with that issue that you've got in front of you, for my friends within the United Fanzine organization, they're going to get a hard copy. Because in the UFO, we do hard copy zines, and we love them. Mm-hmm. However, the project does not lend itself to me sending out individual issues and the like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that proof of concept edition and I'm going to put it on my digital download page. And you will be able, when I announce, to download a copy on a PDF format that you can read on your tablet or your computer or whatever. Print out your own copy. I don't care. And you'll be able to do that, and it will be for free. We're gonna put the 1981 copy of Cranium Frenzy #1 out there for free.
And it is one of the wildest things you will ever read.
Yes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yes.
His artwork,
Insane, and it's
you can
brilliant.
see what it's, we know what he does now, and you can see what he started with when 81. I don't know how old he was in 81. He was a kid. But he has this artwork, and you can see it's a little rougher in this book, and in his later issues, you can see how it developed. It's amazing. And his imagination is unparalleled, really.
There are precious few cartoonists in the world of small press who are at his level. Ted Bowman, probably I would put up there with Steve.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, there's not many that compare, and nobody is like them.
No,
That's true.
no, no. Bowman is an entirely different type of cartoonist, but he's very unique, and he's extremely good.
Yeah.
Steve is. I have no problem putting my creative work aside to do this project.
Well,
I mean, that's why you asked me what's coming up with Strange Times.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's coming up with Strange Times.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
It's incredible reading it. And Larned, you talked about how his style has developed.
Yeah.
I was doing scans finally. I'm trying to get stuff out of the way and clear space so that I can do a whole batch of scans at once. And so I started digging in, and I got to issue 7, which is, I don't know. What issue is this? Yeah, here's 7. Does it have a date on it? It does. 1994. So I've got a 1994 edition. His style changed from issue 1 to now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're looking at constant evolution, not just of like the storytelling and the way in which he draws characters, the lines that he uses, it's so fascinating. And of course, Morty the dog looks the same through the whole thing. So you've got those content.
I can't find the exact panel, but here is Morty. But he called him Morty the pup in this. Yeah.
Morty the pup or Morty the mutt. Something like that. I saw that too. I saw
did you? Yeah,
something different.
Morty the pup. But see, like in this panel right here, you can see Morty. You know, he drew him a little different there.
Yep.
And in the bottom panel over here, this
but
one.
that's Steve Willis, and I mean that's his genius. And this was at the very beginning. This was at the very.
Yeah.
He was already that good.
Yeah. It's amazing.
In those days, and now he's just so much better. He's just great.
And he's a storyteller. That's the thing. And it's kind of a stream of conscious storytelling technique that you just don't see everywhere. It's amazing.
And also, he has notes in the back of this.
Yes.
Which are very interesting.
Yes.
And
now the notes.
The other thing that he does, he describes, if I can find it here, each panel.
I had something else by him. I couldn't find it.
He'll tell you the panel and then he'll write about it. That's in here also.
And that information that's in the back is information that was from a blog that he once wrote. And he basically put his summaries and stuff in. I'm going to take that and put that in at the end of every issue.
You should, because like I said, he'll say page 29 and he'll explain what he was thinking about in page 29.
Yep. I'm thinking we're probably going to do probably 4 or 5 volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to do them probably soft cover book type format, like a trade paperback. The first one, of course, is going to be the larger size. The other ones are going to be more standard digest, because that's how he did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then after each of the individual Cranium Frenzy issues, I'm going to put that back matter before starting the next issue. Yeah. It's great. It's going to be the comprehensive Cranium Frenzy.
Anybody that's a collector is going to have that.
Yeah.
This is small press history. This is great, and something that everybody should look forward to. It's really awesome that you're doing this.
Well,
working with Steve, one of the greatest small press creators of all time. I mean, seriously, he is. I really feel that way.
I do too.
He is. I agree. I mean, he plays at a level that I can't even approach, and so if I can help him get his get his stuff out for the ages, all the better. I mean, we have.
I do a jam comic with him. You know, he's doing jam comics now.
Mm-hmm.
Cranium Frenzy is done, and it's going to be a jam comic. And I've done 2 of them with him. But you know what?
Oh, really?
I get to copy his style. I can draw legally, just like he draws.
You're good at
I can have fun doing that. Yeah, that is. In fact, I can show you. He sent me the originals of the one we did. And I could show it to you.
He's got all my originals, but I did a jam with him as well.
Yeah, that.
Oh, wow.
First page, that's what he did. That was his first page. And then I had to do the second page.
I can't wait to see
And that's
this.
my page. That's
nice.
Wow, it looks very much like your style.
It's fun to copy. And I told him that in a letter. I said, "This is great. I get to copy you legally. I love it."
And now he's done with Cranium Frenzy, and we got this one. We just got this one. I haven't read it yet. In search of the missing story.
Yeah, that's where this is in there. These are the originals of what's in there.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
I don't think I have that one yet.
I see it here now. I see it.
He sent me 10 copies. If you need one, I will send you.
Oh my gosh. He only
No, he'll send it along. He's been really good about sending them.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I've got one coming out. He said I'm in the next one. So.
Yeah.
But Larned, let me ask you.
Yes.
My feeling of doing a jam with Steve was like being a 3-year-old toddler, being handed a tennis racket and being kicked out onto the court to play tennis with like Jimmy Connors or John McEnroe.
Yeah.
And you're just holding on for dear life, hoping that you can bounce the ball back to him with enough force that you can give him something to send to you.
That is exactly the feeling you get. Yep.
Oh, my Lord.
Yep.
He takes stuff and he goes that way, and then he goes that way, and you're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Like the last one he gave me, all it is one panel. And I got to go from the one panel that he drew and do the rest of the panels.
Oh, no kidding.
It is so crazy that I'm going, what do I do?
Well, guys, I got to tell you, I feel so privileged to be able to help him on this particular Cranium Frenzy project. He said he might start it up again later, but he doesn't have any plans to. No. And so I said, this is the perfect time. You're done for now. Let's memorialize this, and then we'll move it along. One of the other weird things that's happened is I have a little bit of a relationship with the Rare Books Library at Columbia University. And they have apparently a really strong cartoonist section, small press underground collection there. And you bet she's getting hard copies. I mean, Steve's work is going to be on display.
It has to be in there. Yeah.
It just has to. And so I'm thrilled to be a part of that. I'm punching way above my weight class here, but
that's exciting news. Great news.
Well, and in between that, making a few videos.
I'm doing a jam with Steve also, just so you.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I am. I'll hang out in a couple of weeks, I guess. But he sent me something, and I'm going to finish that and do it.
Yeah.
Steve, I had no idea. Yeah. So are you playing tennis with him as well?
Yeah, I'm sure.
He sent me something, and I'm going to finish it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in his league, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, that's with all of us. Yeah, right.
He said to me that he is so enjoying this experience because I think he was feeling like he was getting a little stale, and his way of kind of recharging the batteries creatively is to get the external stimulus that comes from you know, these types of collaborations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cranium Frenzy, it's gonna be a
That's gonna
thing.
be fantastic. Well, I
This
think
one,
we usually.
this one's you, Larned. Larned, this one is you.
Yeah, I'm in there. These
Well,
are
bless
in
your
there.
heart.
These are the originals. These are the
I need to look at it
originals.
more closely.
Yeah, it's in
because
there.
I didn't notice I didn't notice the difference between your artwork and Steve's artwork because you did it so well.
That's what I was trying to
So
do. Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
See,
Okay.
I'll show you the
Larned
other
is a
two. This
great
was
talent,
his.
man.
This was his page he sent back to me, and
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
Anna log in there having to do with numbers.
No.
And then I sent him back this one.
It's
And
magnificent. It's really,
the punchline
okay. I can
is,
see the difference now. I'm looking hard, but
yeah.
perfect, perfect jam
And the
comic.
punchline is, and now
Good
you're going to
job.
log off?
But
Oh,
I go off
yeah.
with the big log. Okay.
Well, you know what? We have been on for over an hour. So
Kidding.
I think we should wrap this up. What do you think?
whatever you wish. This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Glad you came on. That's great. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
A pleasure
for me.
always, Tom. Always great
Yeah.
to see you, my friend.
Yeah. So we're going to say goodnight to everybody, and we will see you in the next one, whenever that is. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we have another episode. And anyway, good night for now. Hi, and welcome to episode 83 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter, the world's foremost authority, and me, Larned Justin.
Authority on what?
Oh, well, just the foremost authority.
Okay, I'll take it. I like that.
Anyway, we've got a bunch of comics, a bunch of new comics, comics from the UK and all kinds of exciting stuff. So
Yeah,
I'd say let's get started.
we got some different stuff here.
Yeah. All right, you got
Okay.
one ready?
I got it, but it's not what you're ready for.
I don't care. Bring it up.
You're not ready for the. Do you have this?
What is it?
TF. You must
No,
not have
no,
it.
it never came. It never
The
arrived.
new UFO newsletter, and maybe we'll review this next time.
Yeah, I never got it. I don't know what happened. You said you
I
mailed
mailed it out a
like,
few days ago, but the mail's kind of slow these days.
yeah, but that's really slow. I don't know what happened. Something happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I did
Forget
not
it.
get there.
We got some other cool stuff.
Okay.
For one thing, we have. Did you get this one?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
From Shane Luttrell.
Shane Luttrell, and this is really cool because it's the pencil version of this issue. And incidentally, I think he just colored it and sent this to the printer. But this is the pencil issue, and
It's just a pencil.
I think it's cool. I like it.
Susie Steam, Servo Susie versus the Mecha Misha.
Yeah.
Well, without the color, the artwork is still really, really excellent. This is some of the best I've seen from Shane. This is really great.
It's very good. It's a little hard maybe to see here, but it's all pencil. But at the bottom of each page, he kind of talks about what the influence
a
and so
description.
forth. Huh?
Description at the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Now look, check this out. This is page 4, which has a little bit of color, and he does the lettering is
Yeah, because the lettering will stay. It's in color, and that part will stay until he colors the rest of it.
Yeah.
Even the sound effects are in color. If you can see this.
Yeah, they are. And the logos. But this page, he shows it inked on the inside cover. This particular page.
Yeah.
Inks by Vince Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
And then in color, the same page in color. This is a preview of what is to come.
Yep.
And Vince Rodriguez, apparently one heck of a fine inker. What an
really?
excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. This is going to be.
And you know what? This is $4, and I think it's really worth having. You know, you can see what the artist is thinking, and you know how the pencils look, and I think it's pretty neat. This is $4. Now the book, when it's colored, will be $8. Yeah. The color version.
This one's autographed by Shane.
Mine is too. And I guess he probably autographed all these. Mine's autographed.
And this guy is supposed to be a Reed Richards-like character right here.
Mm-hmm.
He only appears in one panel. The only reason I know that is because Shane mentions it in the notes at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There's another character somewhere along the line who's a J. Jonah Jameson type character.
But there's this issue just has a lot of action, a lot of fighting and all kinds of action. Really cool.
Yeah. And even with the pencils, let me find a decent. Look at the center spread.
Yeah. Neat. Yeah. Look at that. Here's the center spread. Yeah. Very cool.
Continues to get better and better. We usually see his work, in his own Susie Steam publications, and also in his Yeet contributions.
Mm-hmm.
It's
nice.
He just gets better and better.
Kind of a collector's item, I would think.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. For some reason, I'm reminded of rock stars, like Eric Clapton did Layla, which was awesome rock song, and then he did an acoustic version. This is the acoustic version of Susie Steam.
Yeah. And there's more notes on the back page.
More notes. Part of the script. The issue. No, they're notes. It's not a script. Lots of great stuff. There's an explosion scene.
Yeah.
Shane mentions that he likes Jack Kirby's explosion effects, and that he thinks that Vince Rodriguez is going to bring sort of a Kirby influence to when he does the inks.
But like when I do a pencil, before I ink, not in this much detail. I mean, this is a lot of detail in the pencil work here.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, that's good for the inker. The inker doesn't have to fill in.
The inker knows exactly what to do, and you can actually publish just the pencil like he did.
Yeah, because this is fine by itself. You don't need the ink version.
No.
But I'm sure it's going to blow our socks off.
But you got to get the ink version, So then you got both.
Of course. Yeah. Shane, we want the ink version. I'll pay you. How much do you want? How much do you want? You want like $1,000? I'll send you $1,000. But first, I got to get rich. This had to be later. But anyway, we love this version. This is fine.
This is 17 pages. So nice digest size little comic and excellent. Very good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Especially, it's just a lot of stuff in here. The story's good too.
Yeah. I won't give away the story, but
she talks about she just has to go because this armored guy, so they create an armor for her, and she's complaining here because it's flesh colored, and she thinks it makes it look like she's naked. So I want to see the final version to see what this looks like.
Yeah, really. See that?
She did ask the guy to color it a different color, so we'll see how that goes. Great comic.
Anyway, good one to have. I recommend collecting that one.
Collector's item, like Larned said. Now we got a bunch of these. We ordered these.
Oh, this is cool.
Time Force, and we got like 5 issues.
5 of these. These are 5 mini comics that we got, and this is called Time Force. And these are interesting because the issues are not numbered. So it kind of, when you look at it, wait a minute, which one's first? How do I know? But what he's done, and this is, the artist is David Makler. What he's done is he starts out one in, what BC was that? I forgot, but it's in BC.
65 million. It says BCE. I don't know what BCE means, but it starts out. This
What's
one.
the cover of that? Which one is the cover of that one, Steve?
This one.
The cover. Oh yeah. Okay.
So we kind of put them in order based on the times. You know.
Yeah.
So they come up all the way up to the present time. And apparently you got a group of time travelers. It looks like at least 2 time travelers, a guy and a lady. A lady, well, whatever. Lady's here, the guy's here.
The main character that is throughout the books is this character right here, and that is Captain Time Force. He is
Captain
consistent.
Time Force.
He's consistent throughout the issues. Now the other characters are not, but he is. You will find him in most of these. But there's some other neat characters that David has done.
We got Perilous Adventures. There's a bad guy there. That's his bad guy. He's also a part of Time Force, but apparently he went rogue somewhere along, and then they have to deal with that.
This guy I like. This guy right here with a mask.
Yeah.
And I think he is.
Pull that one out.
He is Wraith. The Wraith.
The Wraith.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, this is the one that has the Bonnie and Clyde type characters in it.
Right. This is in the 30s. This one is in the 30s. So that's the time period that each issue, like we said, is a time period. That's why it's called Time Force. And I don't know. I immediately, when I started looking at these, it just reminded me of Byron Black's Steppenwolf. Now, it's nothing like that. It's just the way this is done reminded me of that. And this one is in the 1700s, this particular issue. So this is, all these are very cool. This one fighting monsters and things like that. But
543
I just think the artwork is very, very good in this. I don't know. I hope you can see this, but it's just clean, neat artwork.
Yeah, kind of a Kirby influence. I can see why you said it reminded you of Byron Black.
Yeah, it just gave me that vibe of Byron Black when I first saw Steppenwolf. This is kind of the same thing, although completely different, but just neat.
Now, this guy is trapped in the timeline, so like I said, there's a dragon here.
Yeah.
Fighting a dragon.
Yeah.
And at the end, he plunges. When my team comes looking for me, tell them I secured the timeline. He plunges a scepter into the dragon. And then he disappears.
Yeah.
It's like the old, I don't know who remembers the old Time Tunnel TV show from the 1960s, but these 2 guys were lost in time. They went into this time tunnel and it transported them, but they could never make their way back. You know, they were always just lost and appearing somewhere else in time. I don't know if this guy has difficulty making his way back.
This one is 289 AD, and this is, kind of like fantasy sword fighting and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In this particular one.
Yeah. And then there's another one here where he's in the Wild West.
Captain Time Force does make an appearance in this.
Yeah.
So each one, he does make some kind of an appearance. So that kind of holds it together. Yeah, that one, that's a cool one too. Wild West.
In the 1800s.
In the 1800s, yeah.
And he's battling a sheriff, the Steel Sheriff. This guy has somehow acquired a suit of armor.
Complete armor,
Yeah, more than just a sheriff. He's the Steel Sheriff. But apparently this came through time somehow. He wasn't supposed to have it. It's something from the future, and so Captain Time Force shows up. Yep,
There he is, right there, Captain Time Force.
He says the armor doesn't belong in this time. I'm taking it with me. And so he gets in a battle with the sheriff.
Yep.
Captain Time Force is clever, and he's made himself into a hologram. So when the sheriff strikes, he goes right through him, and he's just fighting an illusion. The one thing I will say about this that's kind of poignant is that he takes the armor away, but the sheriff's wife always sticks with him. He says, "Without the armor, I am nothing."
Yeah.
She says it was never just the armor. Oh,
No, they're good stories. They're good stories. We'll tell you how to get them. And I actually, we got them from Etsy. And but I do have David's mailing address, so I'll put that in the description for you.
Etsy,
These are very cool.
Etsy. I went on there. They sell all kinds of stuff. But if you type in small press comics, or if you just type in comics, it'll take you to a lot of small press comics and other kinds of comics
On Etsy,
too.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see. There's no individual price on these. These were what, $8 for all of them, I think, wasn't it, Steve?
I don't know, more like $6.
We got all 5 for I think $8.
Something
If I
like
remember
that.
right.
It might be less.
Maybe
Check it
a
out.
little less.
Go to
but,
Etsy and type in Time Force. I'll bet you'll find it.
Yeah.
Time Force. ETSY website. ETSY.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely worth having these.
They're very cool. Yep.
Yeah, so we really
All right.
enjoyed it.
What do we got next?
I think we're heading overseas.
Oh boy. Okay.
We got some awesome comics here.
This is
Dave Hingley from the UK. Well,
Dave
you got
Hingley,
the
yes.
same one I got. Yeah.
And this is Windbreaker. And you can get
Which
a
is
little hint of
hilarious.
the excellent artwork in this.
Yeah.
This is oversized. This is bigger than a regular comic book. I don't know if that's because it's from the UK or what. It's full color. And the story is laugh out loud funny.
It's
I mean,
hilarious. I did laugh out loud.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the best comics we've gotten this year, for sure. And artwork is at the pro level. I mean,
Absolutely. I gotta be careful. I'm not gonna knock this
try to
microphone
show you
over.
this, but this artwork is pro level. And the dialogue is just a riot. I mean, he's so funny. Now, you may get a hint from the title of what this is about. And if you think
Windbreaker.
you know what it's about, that is what it's about. The whole comic. But he's done this better than anybody else, as far as I'm concerned. You know, you can do windbreaking jokes, but this one is so much better than anything I've seen, with that whole theme throughout the whole comic.
Yeah, he's like
Very,
James Bond.
very funny.
This little short guy is a super spy. He's like James
Yeah.
Bond. He's
He's
investigating a series of events.
Yeah, little guy.
Mm-hmm. There he goes.
Yeah. But I just can't tell you how funny this is.
Yeah, a series of events in which prominent people with vast audiences are, preparing to do something elegant, like this guy's going to play Mozart, and all of a sudden he farts very loud.
Yeah,
He breaks
that kind of
wind.
starts things off with that page.
Yeah, and it's great because it starts like just silence, and then clap, clap, clap. The maestro is on stage, and then that happens, and everybody's like shocked.
And the comment is, after he does make a loud poot, the comment from these guys is, "That's not Mozart."
I don't think Mozart had that in mind when he wrote that particular concerto. Yeah. And other stuff is happening. Here's a guy in France with his
Yeah.
girlfriend. All of a sudden, he breaks wind, and she's like, "Zoot allures." How do you say that in French? Zoot allures. Anyway, she's like, "Oh
I
no,
can't
no
say
way!
it in French,
She's moving
but
away from
she
the guy."
does. Sitting on the bench next to him there, yeah.
Yeah.
She does say it in French.
And all these things start happening all over the world where these people.
Yeah. Oh, it gets wilder as you get into the book. Wilder and wilder and funnier and funnier. I mean, we can't just show you the whole thing. It's I don't know if the pages are numbered, but it's quite long. You know,
It
they're
leads
not
up to the
numbered,
fact.
but there's quite a few pages in this.
Yeah.
And he is from the UK, so it's available on Amazon. I know that. I do have his address in the UK, and I will post that. But I think it's he gave us a little sheet here that we asked for. And,
Oh yeah, he filled that out. A couple of people did. I think.
Yeah.
At least he did.
He's got his web page. I'll post that on here. And I think that's basically all he has. But I think he has told me that it's available on Amazon.
Now, this story involves whoopee cushions. Whoopee cushions
Yeah.
and a ninja cult.
Yeah.
A ninja, like a whoopee cushion cult.
Yes.
And
They are.
there he goes up against the ninjas. And they're putting they're putting whoopee cushions everywhere to disrupt events and embarrass people and ruin their careers.
Yeah.
And they're
terrorists. They're terrorists.
Terrorists. Whoopee cushion terrorists.
You got to get this. I'm telling you.
It's a great comic. It is.
Oh
It's really
my
one of the
gosh.
best things I've seen. One of the best things we've gotten in quite a while. I mean,
Yeah.
it's right up there with some of the best that we've reviewed.
We can't say enough about this. Even he's even got some of this in there, you know? This kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's even in there.
Right. And they're heading towards the coronation of King George III.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to give away everything.
No, don't give it away, please.
But here we are at the coronation as King George III prepares to sit down on the throne. And, well, you can guess what happens next. But our hero is racing to the rescue in spite of many complications and bad guys all over the place. Even British Bobby bad guys.
Yeah.
Trying to stop him. He has to go up against
John Sterling is the super spy, the little guy. That's John Sterling. See it at the top of the front page here. And I hope he does more John Sterling because this guy is great. I don't know what he could have for the next adventure. But
he's on the beach.
Yeah.
Talking on a secret spy banana phone. You see the banana phone there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He also has a shoe, I think, that he talks into, which is familiar.
Yeah. So, yeah, he endures all kinds of complications, but he's a super spy.
Yep.
It's like the best James Bond satire I've ever read in my ever. No, I mean it's just too funny. This short little guy.
Yeah, very funny, very funny, and like I say, pro level artwork in here.
Yeah.
And he also sent us something else. And this is Space Crash.
Space Crash.
This is a completely wordless comic by Dave. Mm-hmm. And you can follow it. It's very good. Nice artwork in here also. And it's a science fiction space type story.
I've mentioned before how I admire people who can tell a story with minimal dialogue or no dialogue
at all.
And no dialogue, you can totally follow the story.
Yep.
This guy crash lands on an alien planet. Right there, crash lands.
Yeah.
And this details what happens to him. He goes up against there's these Neanderthal guys who try to attack him, and
there's all kinds of action. Yeah.
He makes friends. He makes friends with this thing. It looks like a cross between a penguin and a dog.
Yeah.
A
Right.
penguin dog. And you see how friendly he is there with his tongue hanging out and just smiling. He
But
becomes
he
good
does get him
friends.
to pull his sled. See
Yeah.
that there.
Excuse me, I'm a little congested. It's those darn allergies.
So anyway, a great comic.
Yeah,
And
this is
this is a little bigger than digest size, and it's quite a few pages. They're not numbered again, but and I'm not sure how you pronounce the press that he uses, or the name of his comic company. I don't know how to pronounce that. N-E-K-E or Nike or what? I don't know. It's E-N-I-E-K-E-Y. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But
If you know how to
that's what
pronounce
it
that,
is.
let us know, okay?
Yeah, we don't know how to pronounce it
Correct.
because we're
That's
idiots.
a
But
combination of things, a combination of words. Maybe like
yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. But
Now, that's not all. He sent a couple of little minis also.
yeah.
You got,
Oh yeah, you get the same ones as me? I think so.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's see. Hold yours up. See if we have the same.
Yeah, we get the same ones.
Yeah.
And these are really funny too. These are
These
great.
are funny. Yeah. And again,
I don't know if I should give away the end or not.
no,
It's too funny.
they're too short. I wouldn't give that away. This is
It
about
starts with a guy who
toothache.
has a cavity. He's got a
Yeah,
cavity.
he has a toothache. Yeah, that's what this is
Toothache.
about. But
And
there's, I think he probably, if you order his regular comic, he'll include these. I would think.
well, you can see this. That looks like a possible cure for a toothache.
Yeah.
But that last panel, you won't believe the last panel, man. I can't give it away.
Yeah, don't give that away.
But I truly laughed out loud.
Yeah. And this one,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is I'm not
Heel
quite
versus-
sure on this one what this one is. It's
Something
kind
to
of
do with
wrestling, kind of a wrestling story.
Yeah. But as this old lady enters in, somehow she enters in there and ends up with
Yeah.
a black belt.
Yeah.
I don't mind giving that away, but you have to see what happens to lead up
Yeah,
to that.
right. But it's wrestling, pro wrestling, you know.
This one, oh gosh, this one. You got. I don't know if you see this out as a freebie if you order the other ones. Order this guy's comics.
Yeah.
David Hingley. And the information, Bartlett's going to put it down below.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get as much information as I can down there, so
Just
you can
brilliant.
get a hold of these. These are great.
Yeah. Space Crash. I want to say something a little more, but really quickly, because he ends up on another, like a ghost spacecraft where all the
Yeah.
he's on another spacecraft, but everyone on board is dead, and you see, these skeletons and stuff, and there's holograms that guide him around. People in holograms.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's kind of there you go. That's kind of interesting too. Just want to go back to that because I thought that was an affecting part of the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The guy's trying to make his way, and the holograms are guiding
Yeah, the
him.
hologram is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these people are all passed away. Anyway, that's all of his stuff. All this guy's stuff is great.
Yeah,
And
very
recommend
good.
it.
Dave
My
Hingley.
best recommendation.
And he has a YouTube channel also. Did you ever get a chance to look at his YouTube channel, Steve?
I don't think I did. What is
No?
it? Where is it?
It's a
Okay.
YouTube channel. You'd have to go to YouTube and look up Dave Hingley. But he has a
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Okay. I will
Yeah.
do that because,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I missed that little bit of information. But
Mm-hmm. He
my
talks
highest
about,
recommendation.
he gives, hints on how to draw things and things like that. He does have a very thick British accent. A little bit hard to understand, but anyway, it's a
Well,
nice
us
channel.
Southern
It's
folks are
great.
kind of hard to understand too. I'm from
All right,
North
which one?
Carolina originally.
I think we're down to the good old,
Ta-da!
we're down to good old Steve Willis.
Right.
And I guess this one here is
Steve
a
has a
jam
new
comic.
thing going on.
Pardon me?
He's doing something different now. He's
Now he's doing jam
awesome.
comics. Yes.
Yeah, jam comics.
So I think I'm in this one. I have a piece in this one, and it's just if you know Steve Willis, you know what his comics are like. So he starts them out with a few panels, and then whoever he is invited to finish them. Well, not even finish them. Might just do another page, and then he'll do a page after that.
Did you do
And
this
the
page?
stories, because of that, are really wild.
Yeah. Did you do this page, Larned? Right here?
I did. Mine is math was always my worst subject. That's the one I did.
That's the one. I bet you. Did you draw this page with the big log?
Yeah.
I think it's you. Sometimes it's hard to tell because some of the artists that he works with, including Larned, are kind of imitating Steve Willis's style.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to legally copy Steve and draw like he does.
That's
so
kind of hard to tell sometimes.
I had a great time doing that.
This is Steve Willis. Yeah, that's Larned, and it goes so well. It flows so well. I mean, it's hard.
This page is
really hard.
This page here is Steve, and the opposite page is me.
I don't know. It's not just the art style. It's also carrying on his bizarre sense of humor and keeping it going.
Yeah, that's the
fun part. The story works. Or it doesn't. It works, but it's crazy. It's just berserk. He
lists all the artists that are in here in very small print. Let me tell you. I don't know why he does it so small, but he does. I mean, you'd be able to read it if you have a copy.
Clark Dismeyer.
But yeah, there's a bunch of people in here.
Oh, this is Clark Dismeyer right here. We got Mushy the Mushroom somehow in the series. And there's Morty the dog, apparently drawn by Clark, I guess.
Yeah, Clark Dismeyer. And
this is funny because something's going to happen, and Morty calls in for a stand-in, and it's a guy in a Morty the dog costume. Well, something's going to happen, something dramatic. Morty doesn't want to deal with it. Ah, it looks like this. There goes the stunt double right there, flying through space. Kapow! Oh yeah, and the Sebastian Cabot's up here, so I'm guessing that this is Steve Willis here. I haven't seen anybody copy his Sebastian Cabot's.
Yeah.
Well, at the bottom of the page, this might be Clark. It's hard to tell. I got to look closely at this stuff. No, I think that's Steve Willis. That's Steve Willis there. When you see, no, I don't think anyone's tried to tackle Sebastian Cabot yet.
I haven't tried that.
Maybe I will. He sent a beginning of a jam comic to me too.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be working on that this week, but I'm also working on the Sunday Jam for Jason DeGroot this week. My page is the one that's due to appear next Sunday, so I've got to get it done quick.
Yeah.
And happily, I'm off tomorrow and the rest of the day, so I'm going to start on that, and then I'm going to jump into this. But he's sending out to a lot of people these jam comics, and Steve is a genius. And
In Search of the Missing Story.
And it is, the first time I read this, I'm like, I don't understand any of this. This is insane. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we have another one. And this one is Blind Hank the dog and Dog the cat.
And Dog the cat.
Quite an interesting title.
The cat's name is Dog.
Yeah, the cat's name is Dog in this one.
Yeah,
and again,
this one's got a, wow, look.
This is also
recognize
a
Kel
jam
Crum's
comic.
art. There's Kel Crum right there. Recognize his artwork right off the bat.
Blake Wertz is in this. If you know Blake Wertz, he's in this one.
Who is that? I don't know Blake Wertz.
You know? Oh, yeah, I know who Blake Wertz is. Tom Fellrath is also in this, and we know Tom.
Tom's in it.
Yeah.
I think Tom did some AI stuff. Tom is not an artist, but he's a writer.
Yeah.
This looks like some AI stuff that he did.
Yeah. But anyway, They are crazy and crazier because they are a jam comic, and you never know what the other artist is going to do.
Yeah. And Tom had to deal with this concept of a guy having 3 heads.
Yeah, right. That was Tom's. Yeah. Oh boy,
that
what
was,
do I do with that?
Well, I think Steve Willis drew this panel, and then it went to Tom, and Tom's like, okay, let's go AI on this. I'm going to need help. And he does a great job. Look at that.
Good.
You can see the difference about it. Well, the solid blacks and the screens, you know.
So
very
the
good.
3 heads do get rather, look at that on the bottom there. The 3 heads really get tangled up in there.
They get tangled up. I like the way the guy disguises him. The guy with 3 heads disguises himself by creating a head of spaghetti.
Yeah.
He turns his head into a plate of spaghetti.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild. Very funny. Very funny.
And who else is in here? We got Kel Crum, David Lasky.
So if you want to send Steve Willis some stamps or trade him for something, I'll have his address below. You cannot buy these. You have to either trade for them or something.
Spaghetti heads get kind of out of control here.
Yeah.
I can't stop laughing at this stuff. It's just great. Oh my gosh. And knowing that now I have to participate in the jam. I've got to live up to what these guys have done. I don't know if I can. I'll do the best I can. Did you get any
extras? There's a couple Morty comics he usually sends along.
I got a couple of those.
I'm sure you do. These are originals. So if you get one of his comics, you get an original drawing, Morty comics. And you've got, they're on the back of cardboard boxes. So these are original Steve Willis drawings, and they're great to have.
This one has layers to it. This is interesting because it has layers.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got, this is taped over that, and this has plastic. You can see through it.
Yeah. He does a lot of inventive things with these, and it's very cool. Very cool.
This one says you can laugh about it until you encounter one. If you encounter one of these, you won't be laughing anymore. You'll be running, I guess. So, fantastic.
Yeah.
We really got a lot of great creative, like I said, creative. You mentioned creativity, and creativity is what these are all about.
Oh,
and this is stuff you'll never see in the mainstream.
No.
You'll never see this kind of stuff in the mainstream.
You couldn't. You just couldn't. This is how.
I'll tell you what. Marvel's making all these movies, and you can go see the new Avengers or the new whatever. Whatever the Captain America or whatever. But you're not going to see anything like what you find in these comics, and you're not going to find it in their comics either.
No.
Or DC or anybody, but
yeah.
I think Steve Willis is awesome. For this particular day, I got to hand it to this guy.
I would say he has stolen the show.
This guy wins the prize.
He has definitely stolen the show.
Steve Willis wins all the time, so I don't think he minds if somebody else wins
this
one.
This thing is
Henley,
just plain funny. It really is.
Order these and support this guy. This is what great comics is all about.
Yeah. And it's usually British humor is a little different, but I couldn't detect any British humor here. It all seemed, I understood everything he was doing, and it's just funny. Plain old funny. Yeah. Anyway, now the other thing is we could always use some comics. This has been quite a while between shows. We just did not have anything. And we'd like to do a show more often, but we just can't do it unless we have comics. So if you're a creator, our addresses are in the description below. If you'd like to send us something, we'd sure like to promote it for you. We have fun doing this. If you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe because, like I say, we don't get on as often as we'd like to. So if you hit the bell notification, it'll tell you when we're doing another show.
We have a solid base of viewers. Sometimes we get a couple of 100, 300 viewers, but usually it's like 100 to 150, somewhere in there, 135.
Yeah, we hit the 200 mark sometimes. You never know. I don't know
Yeah.
what
And Steve Willis.
gets.
Steve Willis.
Well, an
we're like
interview with
350.
Steve Willis has got the most, yes. But
He's the king.
and we've done a number of interviews, and we'll do more.
Yeah.
But we like to do the comics; they're fun. And so, if you can send us your comic, we will certainly get it on here.
Yeah.
So I
And
guess
people have told us that they've gotten orders from our show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to get lots
In fact,
of
Steve
orders.
Willis
We have a
has gotten
selective
orders.
audience.
Steve
Mhm.
Willis has gotten orders from the show. He's told us that. So, yeah. All right. We're going to wrap this one up. And we will, I guess, see you next time.
Adios.
All right. Bye-bye.
We've been living in sin so long, all the fields are gone.
Well, hi, and welcome to Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and myself, Larned Justin, and this is episode 84. How about that?
84 was
Episode 84.
16 away from
You know what
100.
the next episode will be? 85. I knew I'd fool you with that one. It's
Yeah. Darn, it's hard to keep up with this stuff. 85, 84. I mean, this is
85
incredible.
time. Yeah, we got to do something special. I don't know what, but something.
For the
Maybe you can
100.
bake a cake, you know?
Yeah, bake a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know, maybe
All right.
wine and cookies and stuff like that for everybody, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we got quite a few books to look at. So
Yeah.
I'll let you pick one and I'll find my copy. And we're going with Joe Carrales,
Yeah.
Journey to the Master of the World. I don't know.
Yeah. And
This
the
is
title threw me off.
Pardon me?
The title threw me off on this because
Yeah,
I've
me
been
too,
surprised.
a little bit, because I think this whole issue is more of an introduction to the
Exactly.
main story, is what I get out of it.
He's introducing the characters and
Introducing the characters and the girls, you
yeah,
know, what they're going to be doing. I think everybody's familiar with The Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty. We've done numerous reviews of his comics.
that's the entire cast right there.
Yeah. And he does have a foreword in the beginning to tell you pretty much what's going on here.
What's going on? Yeah.
Here. But it's more, this issue is kind of an intro all the way through, I think, to the main story, which is coming up in the next issue.
Right. I think it's probably a 3-part epic, and the
That's
next
what I'm
two,
thinking, yeah.
the next two issues are going to get into the adventure and stuff. Again, they're laying the he's laying the foundation here.
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-detail in this. As always, Joe puts a lot of detail into his comics.
Yeah. And there's some humor here too. Here we have the Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty, beautifully illustrated in full color, you know, by Joe Carrales. And you know, but they become part of a mission, sort of. And but the Nico, the Wonder Kitty, gets all the credit, and they're like, you know, oh, it's Nico, it's the Wonder Kitty and the other one. And Marie's not happy because people aren't acknowledging. She says, I'm the Improbable Girl.
Yeah.
So she's not happy about that they're concentrating on Nico. But, yeah, and it's divided, too, between the adventures of the Wonder Kitty and the Improbable Girl. And,
Right.
And also a couple of other people. Well, Peggy O'Shea's not in this one. Actually, she is, but it's in a story at the end. But Alexandra Sevilla and Dr. Lola are off on a different adventure, and we're trying to put it all together. Where are these when are these two adventures going to unite?
Yeah.
That's some nice artwork there.
Yeah. He can really draw airplanes and things. Really good.
Yeah. The full colors, the color is just beautiful.
And of course he has his People's Journal in the back, and he does an interview. Well, Terry S. Wood, he interviews Terry S. Wood, who does his covers lately. Exactly. Cover. Very nice.
And she contributes her beautiful dynamic art style at the end in a short strip. Featuring Maria Nico.
So she has a strip in here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, her artwork is it's like smooth. It's like something. I love it. Smooth is the word that comes to mind. Smooth. It is. Yes. It's really nice.
All the gray shading makes it look like that. Yeah.
Terry S. Wood. Nice. Look at that.
She's very good.
Very talented. Very talented. And who did the front cover?
I think Terry S. Wood did it. I believe. No? Am I wrong? I thought she did it. I thought that's why he was doing the interview with her.
I think it tells you somewhere here. It doesn't look like the style looks different, so I think it may be somebody else, but it's a really nice cover. Anyway, I thought, okay, you see a submarine, okay? And we're leading up to this. They're going to be on board a submarine, and something dramatic is going to happen. Now, I was thinking of two things. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which was a movie and then a TV series back in the 1960s about these people, about these soldiers and whatever in a submarine trying to survive, and they encounter all kinds of monsters and stuff on the way. And I also think about Master of the World. Now, this is Journey to the Master of the World. Master of the World was a movie made in the early 60s. It was a movie starring Vincent Price. I remember it well because I saw this in the movie theaters up in North Carolina, a little small theater. And I saw this movie when I was a kid, and I was really impressed. Everybody was on this flying machine.
Oh.
Kind of like a blimp, but a little more powerful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Vincent Price was on there, and the flying sequences in that movie were pretty good. The special effects were pretty good. So I thought maybe they're doing a take on that, but I think Joe's going in a different direction.
I think this is more like the Nautilus, right? Remember the Nautilus?
Yeah, Jules Verne.
Jules Verne, yeah,
Jules Verne.
That's what this reminds me of.
But Master of the World.
You know how to find out? You get the next issue. That's how you find out. You get the issue first, read about what's going on, and then get the next issue.
But I believe Master of the World was a story written by Jules Verne as well.
Really? Okay, I never heard
that. Yeah.
That I didn't know. I thought old Joe came up with that on his own.
But it's kind of cool. These guys like Jules Verne and other science fiction writers that were around in like the 1800s. Seriously, before they didn't have any of the technology we have now. It was all
came up with it in their imagination, and then later it actually came true.
It came true. The stuff, what is happening in the world now, was originally conceived in the minds of people.
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah, amazing.
So anyway, I enjoyed this issue. Joe did a great job, and wow.
And let me see here the price. This is number 13, and I can't read the price. Wow.
Number 13, I think I see something here. $10 US, $15 Canada.
Okay, I couldn't see it here.
But you're paying for the beautiful production on this issue. It's really really nice looking issue.
32 pages. It's 32 pages of full color comic. So
Full color, glossy paper.
Yeah, all the way through.
It's a very nice package.
Yep, printed by Comics Wellspring.
It says so right there.
Yeah. Anyway, very nice. Okay. What do we got next?
What do we got next? Well, Tom Fellrath sent us a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Among the things he sent us, should I save it for the end? No, we'll go ahead and do this one now.
Okay, yeah. We've reviewed this before, but
Right.
this is Tom's project on Steve Willis's Cranium Frenzy from issue 1, I think, through 40 or something like that. When he's done.
The first 40 issues.
The reason he sent this is because Steve did this originally on 11 by 14 paper, and that's what this is. This is the 11 by 14, so you can see what it's like. And this becomes the very first, if you're going to collect them, you have to have this one first, even though it says proof of concept. He's not going to do another one of these. This is number 1.
Yeah.
So
this was originally published in 1981.
yeah, 1981.
1981.
Like I said, we have reviewed
gosh.
this before because he gave it to us in digest size, but this is the one you want to collect right here. Any contact? We'll have Tom's contact information below, but.
Yep.
And Steve Willis back in 1980 was just as funny as he is now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, he
Yeah.
hasn't skipped a beat in all these years. It's like,
Right. His style has changed. I could see his style change a little bit. His cartooning style.
yeah.
It's very similar to this, but he's changed a little bit from these days.
But, yeah, I mean, he's just as funny now, maybe more funny. But this particular issue is hilarious.
Yeah. But
a lot of stuff in here.
if you're going to collect these, and it would be very smart to do, keep in mind this is the first issue of the collection, even though it says proof of concept.
So, if you follow these, and Tom Fellrath is really he's really doing something amazing.
Yeah.
I believe even Steve Willis was surprised that
Yeah.
he wanted to reprint the entire series.
Yeah, right.
So, wow.
It may take him a while to do it, but he's going to do it. So
Yeah. There's some great stuff. You can see Morty the dog pops in.
But he wasn't called Morty the dog at that time.
Morty
was
Mutt
a
or something
different
like
name.
that.
Now I
But the
can't
very
find it.
early days.
Yeah, it wasn't Morty the dog. It was another name, but I can't find it when I want to see it.
Yeah. I saw one in here a couple of times.
Yeah, I did too, because we did this before. We did show this.
We mentioned that last time, right?
Yeah. So watch the last episode we did about this, and you'll get the name of the dog.
I think it was like Morty the Mutt or something like that.
It wasn't Morty. It was a different name.
Yeah.
And I can't think what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's that.
And this one, how much is this?
I don't see the price. I probably have to contact Tom. I don't see the price.
Well, I mean, Steve Willis will do trades, so I'm sure if you send him one of your comics, one of your zines, and specifically ask for this one, I believe you'll probably get a copy. And it's really well done. It's really, as you said, in the original size, which is not a normal digest size and not full size. But
I don't know if you can get it from Steve Willis. I think you got to get it from Tom Fellrath.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Tom Fellrath. That's
Yeah,
right.
Tom
Tom is a member of the UFO, the United Fanzine Organization, and you can see the symbol on the back cover. But you're right.
That's where
Tom,
I think that's where it says the price in your in this.
I'm looking at the indicia there.
Right here, I think it says the price back here.
I don't see it, and I'm working on it. I have to find out the price because this is going to be listed on the UFO checklist.
I thought maybe it was in here, but it's not in this issue.
Yeah. Okay, Tom, I know you're watching. And just let us know, how much. How much?
Yeah.
If somebody wants to order, how much, and how do they order?
Yeah.
Because this is it's classic. It's truly classic.
Oh, yeah.
Great piece of small press history.
Yeah.
Even today, 81 was 91, 2001, 2000, 40 some years later, it's still great.
Still going.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, toward the end of this show, you're going to see some new Steve Willis, the latest from Steve Willis.
Yeah,
We've got a couple of them. So, anyway, speaking of Tom Fellrath, he also sent us fanzine number 3. And this is
Unique.
photographs of his trip overseas, over in Europe, and he photographed all the graffiti on the wall of everywhere he went. He photographed the graffiti. Look at.
And it's
So
really
that's
amazing.
what it is.
He's like over in Germany, and
Yeah, but
the graffiti on the walls is
anything
incredible.
on the walls he photographed and put in this book.
With a little bit of commentary. He talks
Yeah, there
about
is some commentary with it, a little bit, but interesting, very interesting. That a little comment on the back with more graffiti. It was the summer of 2024 he did this.
Right, last year, and
Yeah,
I mean, he went to Berlin, and on the wall there, the
Yeah.
Berlin wall. There's
Right.
all kinds of fascinating graffiti.
all over, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pages, he does have a commentary. You can see here, he has a commentary on what some of this is.
Danube, the
Who would
Danube.
ever think to do that? I wouldn't think of that if I was on vacation.
The Danube River largely didn't have much by way of street art. Instead, it seemed as if the powers that be figured out how to creatively use space to send messages and promote more classical forms of art and creativity. That's not to say that there was no graffiti, even on the Danube, on the walls over there.
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if they read a lot of comics over there or what. There's
there's a lot of. He has a show, a fanzine live, and he's done German comic books.
Yeah.
And all that on there.
This is on the Berlin Wall. Looks like a car coming through.
Yeah.
Magnificent artwork. And I guess people just show up and they do this, and I guess the authorities don't interrupt them. They just, apparently they have to let them do this because this work would take days, weeks, months to complete.
Yeah. There's Tom. Photograph.
There he is. There he is. With his mouth gaping open, constantly astounded by what he sees in the
I
creative
think
art.
that's his son behind him there.
Yeah. So, went to Vienna, Prague. Prague is in Prague. And, wow.
Crazy stuff on the walls.
Yeah. And this
Amazing.
is really a cool zine. Really
Yeah.
a cool zine.
Mm-hmm.
Something different from what you usually get in the mail, from small pressers or whatever. But he's celebrating the work of these incredibly creative people. Maybe they were under communism or whatever. Maybe they were suppressed in a certain way, but their artwork shines through.
It's called street art, and the pages aren't numbered, but there's a lot. It's a fairly thick book, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the back cover. Summer 2024, a trip to Central Europe as my son's chaperone turned into a revelatory experience as a zine creator. Amidst the history, the culture, the food, and the language was a story. The story of street art. So, and he tells it. I don't know if anybody else has done this.
I don't think so. This is
but this is fascinating.
actually, this is a collector's item.
Look at this. This is incredible. Can you imagine the amount of work involved?
The detail. Yeah.
And this thing goes on, it looks like for like 40 feet or something. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So thanks for sharing that with us, Tom.
Yeah, that was great. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Well, here he is at the Berlin Wall. I don't know if you showed this one or not.
No, I didn't.
One,
No.
there he is. There's
he is.
Tom. Hi, Tom. So, yeah. So he's out there enjoying the world. And, you know, I will mention just for the heck of it, but not really for the heck of it, because my daughter, Kathy, was down in Venezuela. She's a globetrotter, her and her boyfriend, and Adam, and they, and now they're in Chile, in South America. They've been all over the world, and I got a message yesterday. Adam asked me for permission for him to marry my daughter, Kathy.
Oh.
Yeah, and I said, hell no, not a chance, no way. No, I told him I'd be proud. I'd be proud to have him as my son-in-law, and that just happened yesterday. So I got a video on Facebook. If you check out my Facebook page, there's a video where I talk all about that. So yeah, there's love in the entire world, and there they are, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy for my daughter.
Yeah, that's great.
They don't do comics, but they're nice people. My daughter's a nice person.
Of course. All right.
Yeah. Well, Tom also sent this, and this is just a little
sketchbook.
Yeah, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here but pages that you can draw on or sketch on. And so it's a sketchbook, but because you know, I'm not gonna draw anything in there because it's you know, it's kind of mint condition and just want to leave it like it is. But it's a cool extra that Tom sent.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to draw on it, but
I might.
That's it. Phoenix Publications.
Fill it up and send it back to Tom.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep. So there we go there.
Okay.
A nice extra.
Okay. Next.
We have another Yeet.
I have the Black Fury Yeet presents Black Fury.
And a Bullet Man.
Bullet Man and Bullet Girl, and they are right here.
Yeah.
On the inside.
The back cover.
There they are.
That's the Black Fury on the back cover.
That's the Black Fury on the back, and this is the Bullet Man, Bullet Girl, and these are the Second City Sentinels on the bottom.
Yeah, there they go.
Yep.
Little introduction there to these characters. They're very golden ages characters.
Yeah. And the first story is Monstora.
By Mark Rustick.
Yeah, and this is, how do you say? Oh, Rustick, yes. Mark Rustick did the artwork. He did everything, story art, finished lettering, everything. And he's an excellent cartoonist. Look at that. Very good.
And what happens?
Well, the girl is doing an experiment here, which kind of backfires on her and gets this stuff all over her.
Yeah. And she
And
turns into sort of She-Hulk. Except
Yeah,
that
and
She-Hulk
she turns
Marvel comic.
into Monstora and is not
Monstora.
nice.
Yeah,
Not nice at all.
not a nice person, not at all. Yeah.
No.
So
It took over her personality and her size and everything when that stuff got on her. So they
and
had to get the three superheroes to stop her. There's the three superheroes that we just talked about: Bullet Man, Bullet Girl, and
Black Fury.
the Black Fury.
Yeah.
They're going to have to stop her because she is tearing things up.
Yeah, they got their hands full with her. She's not nice at all. She's like,
No, there's a lot of
now you die. Now you died, little man.
a lot of action, a lot of fighting, action scenes, very well done
Wow.
all the way through there.
You know, the heroes got pretty beat up here.
Yeah,
The story at the end is continued. It shows they're bringing in other superheroes because they're going to need help. I mean, she's quite a monster.
yeah, and this story is continued. As you can see down in the bottom panel here, it says right there that next, destroy all monsters. would be the
Destroy
next.
all monsters.
Yeah.
You remember that movie, right?
Hmm?
It was a Godzilla movie, Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, was it? Okay, no, didn't know that either.
Saw it in the theaters back in the 60s, you know.
Oh, okay.
Had Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra, and, you know, all the Ghidorah, I believe, all those monsters from Japan. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Now, here's another story. This one is by E. Larry Tobias.
Right.
Sorry.
He's an
E.
excellent
Larry
artist, this guy.
Tobias.
E.
Called
Larry
One Day in October.
Tobias.
And it's kind of a fantasy, you know.
This is interesting because you have this lady. She's sort of like a sorceress,
Yeah.
and but you know she's very much about family. And you have these young guys asking her questions, and you know she brings them in as they go off on a spectacular mystical adventure where they're going through wormholes and you know to other sides of reality. I mean, like, yeah. So
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. And once again, the art is great. Look at that.
Yeah, the art is great. E. Larry Tobias or whatever. I'm sorry, Larry, if I got your name wrong.
Yeah, well, that's what it
But
looks like.
very, very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice artwork. And I just saw something from him also.
That's quite a few pages. And also, that story is to be continued, so you're going to see more of that.
So this is the team.
Yeah.
These kids and like their grandmother or mother or grandmother, and they're going off to kick some butt. They're going off into another dimension, and they're going to fight the bad guys. One guy here, he has a baseball bat. So
Yeah. The next story is going to be probably quite a bit of fighting.
yeah, this one. You got the same page. That's cool.
Yeah. This is Brad Linder. Brad Linder.
Right.
Art.
This is a werewolf story.
Yeah, this is
Writer John Aaron Mundy, artist Kent Clark, and lettered by Michael Wagner. He's a friend of mine, and he's in.
So the writer is Brad Linder. Okay. No. The writer. Where's Brad Linder?
No, the artist is John Aaron Mundy or Mundy.
Yeah, I guess this was just done.
Yeah, that's
One
just an
page
extra
by
page.
Brad Linder, I guess.
That's an extra page. Don't know if he did it on purpose or just a
I don't know
coincidence.
if
That's a really scary looking werewolf. I'll tell you that
I think
much.
it kind of fit the story, so they included it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, this is definitely a werewolf story. because there is the werewolf right there. And this is Biff Stone, Monster Hunter.
I like that name, Biff Stone.
Biff Stone, yeah.
Who can you count on if you're being attacked by a werewolf?
Yeah.
Call Biff. Biff will take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. Again, great cartoon.
Yeah.
Really nice work. A lot of action in this one.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for a werewolf story.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, look at the fight scenes.
Yeah. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great fight scenes.
Yeah.
And it's a nice story. It's not a long story, but it's just
No,
enough to get you
no.
into the action, to get you hooked,
Yeah.
and make you want more.
Yeah.
So this is Yeet, Mike Jones' publication.
Yeah, this is Yeet.
Some of the
And here's a little ad for if you want your design printed on something, an ad in there for that.
AI. Print your AI art here.
Mm-hmm.
Print your designs on shirts, mugs, posters, and more. And there's an address to order that from.
And our friend Steve Shipley has a story.
Steve Shipley is back.
Yeah, with his great artwork.
Yeah.
He has a story, and his story is by Ronald Carrales.
Mhm.
And Steve did the art. Really cool.
Steve does the art on a couple of stories here.
Called The Widow.
Yeah, and it has to do with it's a sort of Wild West stuff, and
Mhm.
there are bad guys around every corner, and I guess some of them were like
You
this
can
guy.
tell the bad guys because you
You
got
can tell.
patches, you know?
Yeah,
Good guys don't have patches over their eyes.
that's right. They don't.
No, this is the bad guy.
So I guess I have to go back and read it again.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
there is a
her
little twist
husband
to
died.
it.
Mhm.
There is a little twist to it, and you can see it right there. That is not a typical Wild West guy right there. He's a little different.
No, now, what are you looking at? Because if you're looking at this story,
Oh, okay, this is a switch in story.
that's a different story.
Although it looked close to the same, but it is a different story.
Yeah, but that's
Not
a science
too many of
fiction
these
story.
guys
But
in
this
the
one
old
is
West.
cool too. The bad guys do in the end become apprehended.
Yeah.
And again, Steve Shipley's artwork. He's been around for so long. I mean, he's been around longer than me in small press, like a couple
So
of
this
years.
story goes on and is done by Tom Maley, art by Steve Shipley, lettering by Chuck Maley.
Yeah, and this is
Tom Maley
crazy
and Chuck Maley. Must be brothers.
because this fungus gets loose
Yeah.
on like a space station or something here. And, there's all the people, they're like, they're there, they're happy on the space station until the fungus becomes unleashed. And they slowly start turning in to these savage fungus beings. Look at that. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I got a fungus on my toe. Oh, yeah, well, that's nothing compared to this. Check this out now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty scary. It's
Yeah.
unnerving, unsettling.
Yeah, looking over here, they're really getting attacked right there on the
Yeah.
top. Yep.
Where are we at here? These guys are looking through a window here at their other people, that they're there with the other inhabitants of the space station, and they're seeing them slowly being turned into these monsters,
Yeah.
and really disgusting monsters. I mean, really unnerving. You don't want to turn into a giant fungus.
No.
So yeah,
And then,
great art by Steve.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Over the years, he just gets better. It's like fine wine,
And then we have the last story, I think, in the book is this one, Peggy O'Shea Solo Adventure. And that's her
Yeah,
right
Peggy
there.
O'Shea, you know her from Joe Carrales' comics.
Uh-huh.
Peggy O'Shea appears in those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's off on an adventure.
Yeah, this was drawn by, let me see, kind of small print here. And I don't think it, oh, here it is. Written, drawn, lettered by Eddie Morgan, co-plotter Joe Carrales.
Joe Carrales.
He was involved in the story because it's his character,
Yeah.
but the artist is Eddie Morgan.
Yeah, and she has appeared in Joe Carrales, The Improbable Girl, and The Wonder Kitty. In fact, in the latest issue, which we talked about earlier, it's mentioned that she's off on some other adventure, and that probably is this adventure. So, yep.
Look at that artwork, though. Nice.
Yeah. This guy is super. He's
Very
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the line work and everything, and the tones. And,
Knows how
wow.
to make it dramatic, you know, with the inking. Wow. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So this is a great issue. Lots of neat stuff in here.
One of the best Yeets we've seen in a while. This was really nice.
This is a good one. And then there's Yeet comments in the back here. And a pin up in the back. Let me see what this, I don't know if it says, but it looks like the Black Fury. Wouldn't you say that's the Black Fury on the back? Inside cover?
On the inside back?
Yeah,
Oh, on the back cover.
the back inside cover. I think that's the Black Fury. Pretty sure. Looks like them to me.
I'm not so sure. I think it's somebody else in a team of superheroes that they have. I can't remember the name of this guy. But you can see it takes place. You have these 1930s style gangsters and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see that it kind of takes place back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the Black Fury. I think it's another character. But there was a team of these characters that
Hard
pop
to
up.
tell because the Black Fury on the back cover is in full color.
Yeah.
But it's very close to them.
The
Of
Black
course,
Fury.
all superheroes are very close. They all look very similar.
The Black Fury with Miss Fury.
Hmm?
Miss Fury. She is Miss Fury.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's on the back.
Yeah, but I don't think that's not a woman there.
No, the guy is a guy, and yeah, if you're looking at the other page, yeah. So it was definitely
Yeah, no, I know
another
that
hero, and I recognize this hero. Maybe from a recent Yeet, but that one's not the Black Fury. I can't think of the name of it right now.
All right. Anyway, nice drawing. Very nice.
The artwork's
No,
excellent.
exactly who did that.
Artwork is fantastic. So.
Mm-hmm. So a great issue. And here's the interesting part. 12 cents. It's not
right.
He likes to put that on there because it's retro. But
yeah, it's retro.
That is not
12 cents. I remember when they cost 10 cents for comic books. Yeah. Us old geezers, we remember this stuff, we were there.
These pages aren't numbered, but this is a pretty thick issue. So.
Okay, if you look on the inside front cover to the sheet, down at the bottom they have a team of heroes. Now the one you were talking about, I believe, is this one. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is Red Ram. He's a hero called Red Ram.
Okay.
And, I just found this, so I looked out. But they are the Second City Sentinels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark Glove, Red Ram, Black Shadow, Sparkman, and Madam Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Gotta keep up with this stuff,
Yeah, you have to. Gotta get the book to keep up with it. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got Tech Turn 4.
I think it's Taciturn. I had to look online. I had to go on Google to figure out how to pronounce this. Taciturn.
Mm-hmm.
taciturn. I heard they showed the pronunciation in English and in British English.
And what does it mean? Taciturn. What does it mean?
I don't know. I forgot.
You looked up the word to pronounce it, but not what it was.
I can find out. I have a phone right here.
Look at the Brad Foster on the back.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
I think if I'm right, this is a lot of reprints of Kurt Erichsen's work and other people, but it's a lot of it apparently has been in books before, and it's kind of collected in here. Isn't that what you got out of this? I think that's.
But, I've known Kurt ever since the early 1970s. He was one of the original members of the United Fanzine organization, the BPP, at that time. And so Kurt was chairman of the UFO for like several years. And then eventually he kind of left, but he left a lot of stuff unfinished.
Oh, okay.
And what these are, the stories in here, are unfinished stories that he did.
Okay.
Yeah, some of these are from the 1970s, but they've never been printed before.
Okay. I thought they were maybe printed in other books and he collected them in here, but
The Larry
there
Johnson.
is a Lou Brown, Larry Johnson story in here too.
Yeah. Now this one may have been printed before. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
When Kurt went on hiatus, Larry never stops. He never stops. He keeps publishing and publishing and writing and drawing, and he's just great, But yeah, we got the Lou Brown story.
Now I will say that in some of the text in here, there may be some things that are a little more adult than you would want kids to see. There's nothing as far as artwork, but there is some references in there that maybe the kids shouldn't see. Up to you, but just to let you know, it is in there.
Use discretion,
Yeah.
You don't want your 6-year-old son looking through this, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
They may not know what they're reading anyway, but just so you know, there is some things in here.
But it's just free expression, and a lot of stuff. Kurt always, he's got a story here, Valerian the Barbarian.
Right here. Yeah, Valerian the Barbarian.
Yeah, the Valerian. And he's a barbarian adventurer. And he goes off to fight against this bad guy, this evil bad guy with a crown on. Is he a king or something? But the thing is, something happens and he's stricken blind. So he's blind. He can't see what he's doing.
Oh, okay.
So he keeps he's stabbing the guy. I got you. And then the king is like, you didn't get me, right? But and there's a dragon in here. Larry, Kurt. This is Kurt Erichsen.
Yeah.
Kurt likes to draw dragons.
I got a dragon there.
Yeah. So this dragon. This dragon is helping the other guy. This dragon's one of the good guys. So.
There's a dragon right there, breathing fire.
And there might be another story in here that has a dragon in it, I think. But this is classic Kurt Erichsen artwork. What does it say? What does that say? Is that a date? 81. Yeah.
81.
So,
wow.
1981. Kurt Erichsen's artwork. It's right here, right? Yeah, it stands the test of time. Stands the test of time. Kurt's great. We met him. Finally, I met him after 50-some years. I finally met him in person when, at a convention.
Now this has 54 pages in it. 54 pages. So there's a lot in there. We're only showing you a little bit, but there's a lot in there.
No, we met him at the Space Con. We met him at the Space Convention.
Oh, you did?
You were there. You met him too.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yes. we
Yeah.
did.
So that was Kurt Erichsen. And yeah, I've like I said,
Yeah.
I've known this guy since like 1974. He's
Uh-huh.
here like 50 years later. We finally got to meet him. He showed up at our table, and Kurt's a great guy. I've known him, like I said, I've known him for a long time. You got there's artist by this guy too, who's really good, Neil Ryle.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was just looking at that about the. It's a trash can robot.
Oh, that one's later in the issue. Yeah, this guy invests in a robot that cleans everything up. If you drop something on the ground, he'll pick it up. He'll take care of it. But
An incredible time-saving device.
yeah, only the guy, this guy's kind of like, well, this is great. I'll just throw stuff all over the floor and then he'll keep picking it up. But I hate to give this away, but I must.
Yeah.
The trash can just pissed off, you know.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. That kind of got him.
Right. And then the last panel there is a recall notice, the RoboCan, extremely urgent.
There's a problem with this can. It will eat you.
Yeah.
And
Well, that was kind of great.
funny.
This is
And here's the artist. There's Kurt himself right there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Dragon, and the guy there with, we have a guy here with just one eye, right there.
Brad Foster.
No,
He
he's
doesn't
only got
really have just one eye, folks.
Yeah. And Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson, and then on the next page, Neil Ryle
Oh, yeah.
and Mark Schurmeister. So these are people who contributed. And like I say, mostly this is unprinted stuff from several decades ago. What's
Okay.
amazing is how fresh and
Yeah.
wonderful it actually is, even
Yeah.
now. And this new cover, this is a new cover. This is by Dan
Well,
Burke.
new cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Not sure.
cover.
I think it may be AI. Dan likes to play around with AI, but it's a nice
that
cover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Old friend Dan Burke. Yeah. So yeah, this is a great zine. Very excellent.
I like this Brad Foster here with the thinking caveman.
Yeah. Yeah, some of that stuff is pretty funny. Yeah, the thinking caveman, hungry now. He hits upon the concept of time. So he goes, hungry now. So he's living in the moment. He's living
Yeah.
waiting for a cheeseburger or something there. So good. And that's Kurt Erichsen, my old pal Kurt Erichsen.
I got a quick mention here, real quick. This we've done before. This comic has been. This is a second printing of Shelter Dog, and it's Jason DeGroot's project for helping out stray dogs, basically.
Yeah.
But this is a new cover. The story is the same. We've done the story before.
We did review it because I know that Shelter Dogs is a terrific zine.
It's
Very
the same story, but
emotional.
Terry Flippo did this cover for him.
Okay, Terry Flippo.
And,
You got
I
it.
just wanted to show that if you hadn't gotten one, you can get this one. But this is the second printing. So
Okay. I didn't get that one, but I still have the first printing, so I'm happy.
yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting towards the end here.
Yeah.
Uh,
See what
I
you
will mention this book that was put out by Steve
Of
Keeter
course. This is by
just recently.
somebody by the name of Steve Keeter.
Yeah,
did
I
this.
know that guy.
This is Mantra number
13.
13.
Yeah,
This
that cover is by
13.
Keith Newsom. Keith Newsom.
Keith Newsom did the cover. So a little, you can.
Keith is one of the most talented, the most incredible, really one of the. He's the.
There is a figure here in the
alternative comics.
right here. There's a figure that's shooting that gun. Yeah, a little hard to see, but anyway, yeah, very cool.
I see the
Mantra.
Yeah, so that's Keith, and Keith also has a story in the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like this.
Yeah. I can't find it, but I know it's in there.
It's towards the middle there.
Yeah.
So Mantra is whatever I want it to be. I mean, this is published by this guy right here. If you want to see the guy who publishes this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there he is right there. That guy. It's pretty much Mantra is not a comic zine. It's not a text fiction zine, but it has a mixture of everything. Oh yeah, and there's this
one of the premier pieces in here is done by yours truly.
Yeah, trying to find that.
DC, these two guys.
Here we go. Thug and Groin.
Yeah.
By Larned Justin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and but Larned
and then also here is Alan Freeman, who wrote a text story, a couple of pages long, very small print, Steve. Very small print.
Yeah, it was kind of small. I was trying to fit it into a.
Squeezed it in
I don't
there.
know. It was a concise issue. I didn't want it to be too long.
Yeah.
I had so much material that I've split it into 2 issues. This is number 13, and 2 months from now, number 14 will be out. But yeah, it's kind of small. But it is also the artwork by Alan Freeman right there. Here's his artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a couple of my favorite illos in the zine. We have a letter column. Well, there you go. This Larned Justin guy keeps popping up. Alice Cooper.
Well, wasn't that Larry Blake said that each issue should have Alice Cooper in it?
Yeah, in the early days, he always sent in an Alice Cooper illo.
Yeah.
And then he said, that's it. Alice Cooper has to be
Has to be
in
in
every
each issue.
single issue. So I asked
figured,
you,
well,
and
I
you're
better
very,
get it in there.
yeah. And look at this.
Oh, yeah. That was my
really nice.
ode to Robert Crumb right there.
That's you might recognize those 2 guys. The one with the mustache, and then the other guy with the hat and the beard. Yeah.
And then there is Chuck Bunker.
Yeah, and you're showing that. I will show you the back cover, or the inside back cover that Chuck Bunker also did.
Oh, yeah.
And those same 2 guys that were in that previous illo appear in this one.
Look at the likeness he gets. Very, very good.
Pretty good, yeah. Chuck's very, very talented.
You can see the hat right there that I have. Same hat on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we're talking about the Talking Small Press comic show, which some of you may have seen. And this is Chuck right here. Put himself into the illo. So I'm glad to finally get this out. And where were we? Oh, you were talking about Chuck's story.
Chuck's story here, which is the generic man. Geriatric man. I can't say it. Geriatric man.
He's like 99 years old.
He's 90, yes. And he's, it's all about Valentine's Day, and he's trying to get a date here.
I kind of missed the deadline. I was trying to have it out by Valentine's Day, but I kind of missed the deadline. Not once, but twice. It was supposed to come out a year ago. Yeah, sorry, folks. Hope you enjoyed anyway. But yeah, Chuck's very, very talented.
Yeah.
And, Geriatric Man is one of the guys he created way back in the 1980s. So he was 99 years old then, and he's still 99 years old.
But the girls are not thrilled with a 99-year-old guy, even though he's a superhero. Not going to work out for the girl. Not going to do it.
Anyway, yeah, so I got this out. I've been working on the UFO newsletter every 2 months for a long time. There we go. And who is that musician there?
You might recognize him.
Van Morrison.
Morrison. Yeah.
That shows you, Larned can draw in all sorts of styles. This is a very realistic illo of the great singer Van Morrison. But Larned
He's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Yeah. But he can draw cartoony style. He can draw realistic. He can paint. I've seen some of his paintings when I went to visit there. Yeah. You are multifaceted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, and I will mention this too.
Okay.
I have a cousin who's an excellent artist.
Oh yeah. I thought that was really nice. The drawing in the front, right in the front page there.
Yeah. And he's superb with the line work and everything and the realism of the artwork. Gary Keeter.
I mean, it's a famous photograph, but he did a great illo of it.
Yeah. So I have a lot of his work. He's been sending me a lot
What
of
does it say right above his name? It says Gary Keeter, and then is that his signature above it, or what? I couldn't quite read that. It says Gary Keeter, and right above it,
that's his signature.
It's his signature. Okay.
It says G Keeter, but the way he draws a G, it looks like a D, but it's a G.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to have more work in the next issue. So seriously, folks, I'm back into publishing. I'm going to get more books, comics, and zines out this year than I did the last couple of years. So this is just the beginning. So guys, if you order this, I hope you send me, many times the cover price, maybe even $200 or whatever. But I'll take it. No, right. But seriously,
what's the cover price of this?
It says $4.50. That must be a mistake. $3.50.
$3.50 for our viewers? Is that what it is? If you're a viewer.
$3.50. That includes postage. So.
Okay.
You can order on PayPal, stevekeeter@gmail.com if you like.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to see you got that done.
It felt good to get it out.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with the UFO, I haven't had time to publish my own stuff, publishing the UFO newsletter. But this is, we're getting back into it now. We're moving now. We're on the way. So, okay, which one you got there?
I've got Sockabilly Caparicio. Sockabilly Caparicio, I'd say.
Look at those socks. They play a prominent part in this issue.
Yes.
Steve Willis.
Steve Willis, Jam comic. He has all kinds of people that he's contacted. He starts a story out, he sends it to them, and they finish it, and then he publishes them. And that's what he's doing now. There is Cranium Frenzy's on hold. He's doing these Jam comics right now. So this was one of the first, well, probably the second one, maybe, I think.
Yeah.
We reviewed the first one. It was a green cover.
Yeah.
This is the second one, I believe. I don't know the numbers or anything, but.
This we have Bruce Crislip is involved in this. Alan Greenier.
Yeah.
Charles Brubaker.
He puts it in there in very small little writing. Who's in it?
Motley.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it starts out with bears.
Tom Motley, I know Tom Motley for seen his work for years.
Yeah.
But each
one bears with socks on.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, these are because they're Jam comics. They're very, very different. Steve will start out a story, a very silly story, of course, and then people take over and gets even sillier.
I guess this is Bruce Crislip's art right here.
It might be. Sometimes
it's difficult to tell. Because the artists, a lot of times the artists will emulate Steve
Yeah.
Willis's own style.
That's what I do when I do them. I try to copy his style.
Yep.
So,
I did that to a degree. I added some
Yeah.
textures and stuff, solid blacks, and I almost regretted doing it. Oh, yeah, I too am working on a jam comic with Steve Willis. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have it right here.
and I mentioned Tom Motley. I could tell that was Tom Motley a mile away doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Motley, pages 15 to 18. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly complex page.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just pulled out the stops on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you got Alan Grenier, Alan Grenier, Mike Cody Grenier. Maybe that's his son or something. Mike Cody Grenier. Well, this is some of Charles Bullbecker's artwork.
Yeah. The thing is that what Steve does with the story when he collaborates with somebody, I'm going to find it here in a second. I don't know if you can see this, but he puts his initials and then the guy he collaborated with, their initials.
At the bottom of the page.
At the bottom, yeah. So you got to kind of look back in the front to see who it was. So, yeah. But they're all listed in the front. So.
Yeah, I got a note from him. We're working on this comic, and he said, "Don't forget to sign at the bottom of the page."
Yeah, he wants you to sign what you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't, but he wants them to. So that was that one, and then we have the next one, which is
Musa.
Comixo. A Musa Comixo.
Comixo.
Yeah. And another jam comic, of course. And our friend Clark Dismeyer is on the back.
On the back, somewhere between pages 12 and 15, there's a guy named Larned involved with this. Let me see if I can find it.
I forgot I was
Larned.
doing this one now. Just winging it.
I don't know how much you drew of this, but
I drew this.
It looks like him.
He would draw a page. He did the first page, and I did the second page here.
you did this
So
page here.
that's me over there drawing.
I swear you can't tell the difference.
I told him this is a license to be able to copy his work. I love it. I'm a great copier, so I can do it legally, copying his stuff.
Yeah. Did you draw the next two pages, or did
He drew the next page over here,
page after?
and I drew the one after that.
That's fantastic.
He did this page, then I did the next one, with the guy bent over in the bottom of the panel. Yeah.
Two geniuses, folks, side by side. Here we go. But seriously, Larned did a fantastic job here. Kudos to Larned. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And there's other people involved here.
Oh, yeah.
M. Elias Ebert. Never heard of him, but
If you want a real challenge,
still nice.
try and do one of these. He'll send you the first part, and you got to finish it, or do the next page.
Yeah.
And Steve will throw you a curve, a big one.
Definitely.
Yep.
It's like it throws out the most absurd premise you ever encountered to start a comic. He says, "Okay, now it's your turn." You got to follow that.
Yeah.
Steve is a genius. He really is.
Oh, boy. Very funny. Funny stuff.
Who's this at the end?
But you can't, as we've said many times, you can't buy the comics from Steve. You have to send him a trade of some kind or some stamps, and then he will put you on his mailing list forever.
We got Clark Dismeyer here at the end.
Clark Dismeyer on the back.
Mushy the Mushroom. And we love Clark's work too.
Mm-hmm.
So These are jam comics, but they're fun. Like I read this particular issue, and I couldn't make a lot of sense.
I know. I agree.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. They don't make
But it was so funny.
sense, but
Yeah.
they are still funny. Yeah, exactly.
So original. I'm like if Steve does a page and he sends it like to Larned might try to make it all make sense to pull it all together.
I
And
try.
then Steve's done it again and he tears it all apart.
Tears it all throws you another curve. Yeah.
So you gotta, I don't know, you gotta be talented. You gotta be witty as well. Yeah. So that's Steve Willis.
Okay.
Oh, I got this from this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Mini
That's
comic.
over.
This is from Larned Justin as well.
I don't have my copy in front of me. I didn't know you were going to do that.
They have 2 copies because you sent me the, you sent it to me by
I
message.
think you missed the middle there. The middle.
I can't tell you. I mean, it's only 4 pages, but I still can't tell you the end. I will say that this guy's walking along and whistling,
Slinging.
and then he realizes his shoe is untied,
Yeah.
and
Then he ties his shoe on the water
fire hydrant.
Fire hydrant.
Yeah.
And the dog, you're not gonna.
You want to tell? Okay.
You would show it. And the dog comes along and
He's on the shoe.
fire hydrant. And then on the back page, there he is drying out his shoe.
So I don't know. I guess Larned will send you this if you order.
Oh yeah, I'll send you one if you want.
Free copy or whatever else. I figured.
$25.
$25.
25.
All right. I think that's about it.
I think we've done it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great to be back. Sorry, we were going to be back.
Is in the books. Wow.
Yeah. We were going to be back a week ago, and I got a little bug. I wasn't feeling well, and we got back as soon as we could.
Yeah, I got all set up, and Steve said, "I'm dizzy. I can't do it. I'm dizzy."
Terrible. I felt terrible about that, but I was dizzy. There's something going, like a bug going through the house here, and 3 people in this house have gotten it.
Oh, really? Wow.
I got that. It's like a 24-hour bug.
Flu kind of thing?
It's like a flu, sort of mild flu, but it lasts like 24 hours. And so I was over it, but then Larned, and we were going to do it, but Larned was busy during the week, this past week.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a little surgery.
Surgery. Yeah. I went to the dentist, the periodontist this past week. I went there because the hygienist, when I had my teeth cleaned, she said that one of my teeth, it looked like there was an infection and they might have to pull it. But I went there and they had the periodontist there, and he looked at it and he says, "It's fine. There's no problem. Your tooth is fine." So that made me happy. You know what? I was there for 5 minutes. I waited in the waiting room for 25 minutes. I went into there, and I'm like worried because I figured they're going to pull it, And the guy said, "It looks fine." I said, "Am I finished?" He says, "Yeah." I was in there 5 minutes. They charged me $165.
Oh, my gosh.
5 minutes, $165 for him to just say, "Everything's okay."
That sounds like a racket.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm happy. I'm glad they don't have to pull the tooth.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. I think we're going to say goodbye because we have done it. So, we will see you in the next episode, which will be when we get some comics. And if you'd like your comics featured on the show, please send Steve one and me one. And I know that's a lot of trouble, but that's the only way we can think about how to do this. So we'll get you on here.